All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Awfully Silly. I hope your weeks have been good since I last saw you. I hope your weekend was good. I hope everybody is enjoying maybe, hopefully, some fall weather wherever you're at, because we are in the midst of spooky season here. I hope you all have been having a good time with that. Tonight we have, as usual, a doozy of an episode filled with some of the games of all time when it comes to speedruns. But before we get started, I want to go over a few things for everybody. First, if you are excited about this as I am, you will probably already know that registration is live for Awesome Games Done Quick 2024. So if you'd like to attend the event in person, that's going to be from January 14th through the 21st. Go on over to gamesdonequick.com for some more information. That includes attendee registration as well as hotel booking. You can also check out the schedule of the event at gamesdonequick.com/schedule and let us know what you're looking forward to the most. Hopefully it's sneaking. Secondly, Games Done Quick is also hiring. So if you happen to be a business developer or have experience in recruiting sponsorships and you would like to work for GDQ, you can apply at gamesdonequick.com/jobs. Be sure to check that out if that sounds like something you might be interested in doing. Well, because of the time of year, because it's the day before Halloween, I thought it was the most possibly appropriate thing to do is to have some more silly, spooky games on as a part of our kind of Halloween celebration, preemptive Halloween celebration before tomorrow's Hotfix event. So we have some games for you. Maybe you've seen them, maybe you haven't, but they're all definitely interesting. The first of which is going to be Ju-On the Grudge, a Wii game. Believe it or not, I haven't had many Wii games on, and it's going to be run by Juhorse. So Juhorse, go ahead and take it away.
Hi, my name is Juhorse. I'm gonna do Ju-On the Grudge. I could have just said Juho the Grudge as well because it fits perfectly. Normally I would use webcam for the Wii game, but because I'm like dead tired and it's like 7 a.m. in the morning, I'm just gonna use my normal PNG tuber, which is a horse. With me I have Nerd Squared. Say hi. So, yeah, he runs the game. He runs any percent and also the true ending, if I'm not mistaken, which is like an extra ending of the game. We're gonna do any percent because any percent is just only four episodes. But yes, this game is on the Wii. Also, if you have seen me before, sorry. Nerd, did you mute yourself? Also, anyways, I was about to say, if you have seen me before, I've ran a couple of games on the last couple of hotfixes. One of them is Alone in the Dark, another one is Amanda the Adventurer, and here I am playing Ju-On the Grudge, and Ju-On the Grudge is one of the games of all time on the Wii. I'm gonna start off with a file right here. We're gonna go with male, and then I think, if I'm not mistaken, Scorpio is Halloween-ish. If I'm not mistaken.
I believe so. Google says that is correct. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. All right. But yeah, people are saying that you could hear the commentator. Nerd Square is my commentator. He runs any percent and True Ending. True Ending is consists of 5 episodes, which is like an 4+1 extra episode if you collect like all the items in the game. We're gonna go with like any percent, which is all 4 episodes, and that's about it. Anyways, if you are wondering what the profile is all about, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't do anything at all with the whole game and such. Anyways, we're gonna be starting off with the first episode, which is in the Rundown Factory. Nerd, can you say anything real quick so that we can test your audio?
Yeah, Noise Gate owned me earlier. That's what that was.
Okay. So I hope Nerd Squared is here. But yeah. Anyways, time will start when I get into the episode. So yeah, 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh.
Alright. I'm gonna be spamming my plus button real quick, and then Nerd, you can talk about the first episode of the game.
Yeah, so I guess the first thing I'm going to talk about is actually how he's able to skip this cutscene in the first place, because you're normally not able to do that on a new game like he's doing here. But there's a really strange bug with this game where if you start a file, complete a game on that file, and then delete the file, it keeps the state of being able to skip the cutscene at the beginning of every episode, even if you're starting from a new game, which is kind of weird. But we can use that to our advantage, because that lets us skip several minutes worth of intro cutscenes. And the idea of this game, as you might be able to suss out from the title, it's actually based on the Japanese Ju-on film series. So if you're familiar with the film series, you probably already know what goes down in this game. But for those that don't, basically there's this spate of family murders that happened a long time ago, and the ghosts now haunt the house that they used to live in. And we play as a family of 4 in this that move into that house unknowingly, attaching the curse to themselves. And as we go out throughout these episodes, they'll get haunted by the spirits of Toshio and Sayako, I think are the name of them.
Yeah, Toshio and Sayako. Toshio is the small boy that you see, like, now. Later on we'll get to, Kayako. So, yeah. Anyways, yes, I am controlling this game on a Wii. I'm actually moving my controller around a lot because it's the motion controls, motion sensor. But yeah, but basically I'm walking at like 1 kilometer per hour. I don't know. Kilometer is slower than miles, so we're gonna just say kilometer per hour. But yeah. Anyways, jump scare. So anytime you see all these jump scares, you just have to like do the quick time event, which is just to move your controller around. It happens like most of the time, so there's that. But yes, I am holding. If you were to play this game with a Wiimote, you hold the B button at the back and you move using like the sensor stuff. So yeah, yeah, go on, nerd.
Yeah. Yeah, and to piggyback on what I was talking about with using the Wii to move the remote around for those little scares, it's a lot harder than it looks to control, because the Wii remote, for whatever reason, is just really sensitive, or in some cases even unresponsive in this. It's like oftentimes you'll have to jiggle the Wii remote around to get to stick to a direction when you're just walking, for example, like he is right here. And sometimes it can just drop entirely and drift off to left field. It's great.
I'm surprised that there's no jump scare right here. This is the only random jump scare where Toshio just pops into like the corner of the screen, and that's about it. That's like one of the random jump scares which I didn't get. That's a good thing.
Yeah. That actually.
No, I was gonna say, as horror game vets, when that happens, does that ever like scare you? No. That would spook me, I feel like.
That actually spooked me when I first ran the game.
Yeah, I would be terrified.
I think the one place that I get spooked at is in the 3rd episode. We'll talk about that like later. But basically one part of the 3rd episode actually got me scared like so hard. Yeah. Also, talk about the battery, by the way.
Oh yeah, so you see at the bottom left there's a battery meter. In this case he has 2 batteries. That kind of serves 2 purposes. For one, it's the power of your battery, or power of your flashlight, so you can actually see. But it also doubles as your health bar, so if that battery meter ever runs out, it's game over. But game overs are pretty costly for us in this. Because if you game over at any point in the level, the game does not have a checkpoint system, so you have to start the entire level over again. And the reason that's so terrifying is the very next level he'll be doing, which is like this abandoned hospital, it is 15 minutes long.
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh my gosh.
So in a way, this is the Dark Souls of horror games. If you really think about it.
Yep.
So true.
I have to really take note of my battery usage as well, because oh my god, if I waste my battery usage, it's all gone. But yeah, yeah, we're just still gonna walk 1 kilometer per hour towards another door later on, doing a few more objectives, and then we're gonna go into like the first, well, so-called skip of the game. So there's that. But also we're playing as one of the core members of the family, which is Erica. Somehow, this is the only character in the game that repeats itself twice, or it like appears twice in the game. Because if you ever play like True Ending, basically, if you were to collect all the items that you can get in the game, that is like newspaper articles, drawings, photographs, whatnot, you get like an extra ending, and extra ending involves, I think, Erica going into the Juon house, if I'm not mistaken. That's what I remember.
Yeah.
Yep.
And to go back to what I was explaining with the batteries, picking up the batteries is slow for optimal runs, because as you might have seen, there's a little animation that plays that shows, hey, you picked up a battery. So what we tend to do for top level runs is to pick up the least amount of batteries possible while still being able to complete the level safely. But I think Juon, I almost said Juon again.
Yeah, I knew it!
It's the opposite problem.
It's the Grudge, you know! I'll make it as optimized as possible for myself, so yeah, there's that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, by the way, I don't know if you can hear this. It's literally coming up on my Wiimotes. The sound can be heard from my Wiimote if I put it like very close to my microphone, so yeah, there's that.
Yeah, don't worry, it was just Kayako belching into a microphone.
Yeah, it's just burping. Alright. A few more objectives to go, and then, yeah, hitting the first skip of the game. Surprisingly, there are skips. A few of them were actually found very recently as well, if I'm not mistaken. So, a few of them were actually found by Mad, if I'm not mistaken. So, shoutouts to Mad for, yeah, running this game as well.
There's a couple I'm aware of, but I'm thinking there might be one that I'm not aware of that we'll be seeing here, but I'm not sure where it is.
Yeah. Have I missed anything? Wait. What's on the floor? I forgot.
That's a battery.
A battery? Okay. Oh, there we go. I had to like readjust myself.
See, that's what I mean that's what I was talking about earlier with the sensor bar. It's very sensitive, and sometimes you just lose control, and you kind of have to like jiggle the Wii remote to get it back into place.
I hope you're right though, because I don't remember if I have to pick up that thing on the floor or not. If it's a battery, then yeah, that's good. If it's not a battery and I had to pick that up, we are screwed. Because I have to do this thing all over again.
Nah, you just had to place the plug in the machine.
Okay.
I think your battery power might be good to finish the level, but we'll see.
No, it's good. It's good to finish for sure. But like, I was like kind of scared if like I kind of screwed it up for a bit. Yeah. Also, oh no! Hi, Kayako. All right, here comes the quick time event real quick. I have to shake my remote all around at the moment, and then here comes the first skip of the game. You just do this. That's about it. One thing to mention about quick turns are actually just a shake of the Wiimote, and that's about it. And then it just turns you 180 degrees. Basically, if you were to walk straight, you get to see Kayako again, but we are not gonna do that.
Yep.
So we're just gonna go into the elevator, and that's about it.
And we get to see Best Dog.
Oh god. Yep. So yeah, the whole time, Erica was supposed to be searching for her dog in this rundown factory the whole time. And now we actually found the doggy. But... oh, poor doggy.
Ooh, so sad.
That was the first episode cleared. Also, take note of this meter, because this meter is gonna come up, like, pretty soon. There was a scare meter, and then also a sissy meter. Which is kind of weird, because, so the sissy meter works like this, so, like, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the faster you are, the more scared you are, if I'm not mistaken. The slower you are, the less scared you are, or something like that. It's so weird with the whole meter stuff.
Yeah, so that mirror's gonna be sky high the entire run. And it's kind of funny actually, because a lot of the messages on that end board just roast you, depending on how you did.
Anyways, the next episode we are playing as I don't remember what the character's name is.
I believe
Oh, no.
Nikki.
Yes. I'm like blanking on the name because there's 4 characters as well. So there's Erica, which is like the main one. There's Nikki, there's Kenji, and I think there's one more. I don't remember the one more. And let me actually aim real quick. Thank you very much. I gotta try to aim straight as well because there we go. If I'm not mistaken, I'm supposed to go to this door first. There we go. So, for this episode, we are in the hospital, and there's like no one in the hospital other than like Hoshio and Kayako and just Nikki. So there's that. I'm gonna try to rub my. There we go. So rubbing my Wiimote on that bed because I think if I'm not mistaken, if you were to look at the bed for quite a while, it actually stops you and you can't really move at all. So there's that. Other than that, we are supposed to be going to like different rooms as well. You can hear the sound, that alert sound. It shows you like the number of the room that you're supposed to go to, and that's about it. So yeah, but yeah, we're just gonna go towards here right now, and then there's a TV that we're gonna be looking at. I don't know what that is, but yeah.
It's basically previewing some areas we'll be going to in the future. And some of these places have already been. Like, there's the elevator from the factory. Then there's the roof of the
Derelict
hospital.
apartments, yes.
Oh, yeah, I got the areas mixed up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
the
department
Juon
store
house.
we'll be going to. Yep, and there's the Juon house. There's the hospital. And there's the roof. I wonder where we're
Roof
going.
of the hospital, yes. So this episode is actually one of my one of the the dumbest episodes in the whole game, because there's a lot of stuff that is really funny, I would say. Like, yeah, when you play this game for the first time, like with the first episode, yes, it's very scary. It's a haunted house simulator for a reason. So yeah. And they try to make it as scary as possible as well with the whole game as well. Have you ever seen the cover of the US version / Japanese version of the game? They make it super scary with like how like Juon is or like how Kayako is. In the in the PAL version of the game, you have like the cover art is so weird. It's just a woman just behind a couch just peeking, and then you just like Juon the Grudge. Like, cool. I have that cover because I was gifted that cover by one of the GDQ chatbots, which is Yorki Desu. Thank you to Yorki Desu for gifting me. Yeah, he gifted me the game, and he was like, "You keep it now." I'm like, okay. But yeah, I have both the US copy and the PAL version. Yeah, the US copy and the PAL copy of the game. Anyways, now we're gonna be listening to a phone call. There we go. And ooh, creepy. We're gonna try to actually get this piece of painting or whatever it is, drawing, and then we're just gonna do all the quick time events so far. So yes, Hoshio's running around. Hoshio, whatever. Running around. Very scary. But we're gonna pick up this this scrap or something. If I'm not mistaken, it's a scribble fragment. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just the only
picture fragment.
Yeah, this is the only scribble fragment that we're gonna be taking, and that's about it. Because normally in like true ending, you're supposed to collect all these like fragments and such, so that you could actually get the extra episode. But we are not gonna be doing that. Instead, we're just gonna be going through the game as it is. Anyways, scary. Anyone in the stall? Just a black cat. Alright. We're not gonna be taking this fragment right there. I'm just gonna be looking straight as well, because if I were to turn my body to like anywhere else, it's gonna suck with the whole control. The whole controls. Because if you were to look straight, or if you were to look like somewhere else, like the left or the right side, it will just automatically move you straight, and then yeah, it wastes you like a bunch of time. So there's that. Anyways, and you have anything to say so far for this run nerd?
Well, I guess what I can say about this level is that's a lot going to need to be. You saw how Juho is going back and forth through all those rooms. It's a big trigger hunting kind of level.
I hope I have like a lot of battery left. I don't remember if having 2 batteries is enough, but yeah, I'm just gonna hope.
3 is enough. You can grab one on the way down to the board.
I usually grab 2, that's the thing. The weird thing is that like every time I play this game,
I might be thinking of true ending routing.
yeah. Every time when I run this game, it's always 2 batteries, but like it looks like I'm like almost about to be finished with my batteries. I'm hoping that's not the case, but yeah. Everything is like a treasure hunt or like a scavenger hunt, I would say. So yeah. Talk more, I guess, because I'm a bit sleepy at the moment, so.
For those at home that didn't see the star, it is 7 a.m. where Juho is. You have to wake up bright and early for this.
Yeah.
Nothing like starting your day with some Ju on the Grudge gameplay.
You mean Juho the Grudge?
Oh right, Juho the Grudge, of course.
Yeah, this is my Grudge, surely. Yeah. Surprisingly enough, if you have seen me before, I've run this game twice on Speedruns on the Crypt. Yeah, shoutouts to Ecdysis as well. Ecdysis is one of my one of my best of friends on Twitch and also on the GDQ stuff. But yeah, I run this game a lot for some reason, and I get to run it again on Conceptionist show. So yeah.
Yeah.
No, go ahead and say anything else.
Oh, I guess one quick plug I can make if you like bad horror games. Watch Garten of Banban coming up next.
Yeah. Look at that, doing my job for me.
Yeah, because if you think this game is cursed, you haven't seen anything yet. I can promise you that.
Yeah, we got some cursed games on here. I was holding some of these games specifically for the pre-Halloween episode. So this was intentional, very intentional.
One thing to take note as well, if you were to try to get the true ending of this game, you can totally tell like this hallway is like super long and super time consuming. If you were to try to play, or if you were to try to get like true ending, you have to walk through this hallway like 4 times, which sucks.
Yep, it takes 4 minutes. That is not a joke.
Yeah. Oh god, let me actually do this real quick. So we're trying to escape from Kayako. Oh no, please. Alright. We totally escaped, right? Oh no! He's there! Oh, there we go.
Alright.
Alright, let's see if I can actually get this because, you know, Toshio's like right there. Oh no, he's running away. There we go.
See
Get a little glimpse of Toshio, and that's about it. But yeah, right now we're just gonna go up to the roof. Before like making it to the roof, we got one more enemy. You have seen Kayako, you have seen Toshio, have you seen like this monster? This one.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
Too bad, we're gonna be fencing with it.
Oh.
We're gonna use our flashlight and actually fence with it.
Flashlight fencing, okay.
Well, flashlight, and
that's
hair.
That's totally what this is.
Alright, here we go.
I did say it was Japanese horror, and this is where it gets a little weird.
One more. Yeah. There we go. Did it. I'm the true master of flashlight fencing. But yeah, right now we're just gonna go up to the roof there's gonna be one more skit that I'm gonna be doing, which is also I think found by, well, this one was found by Swordfish, if I'm not mistaken, like a long time ago. And shout out to Swordfish, one of the OG runners of this game. Yeah, he also helped me with my Japanese commentary with one of the RT in Japan runs.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually dropped this. Yeah, I actually dropped this game for a while. I forget when I dropped it. I think it might have been like 2017. Then, like, 3 years later, I randomly came back to it because I wanted to beat Swordfish in X time, and I did that and then some.
Yeah. But yeah, basically, if you've seen the person like who's about to jump off in front, we just turn around and then just go from the back. There is supposed to be like a cutscene that you actually watch, that the guy actually jumping off, but we just skip that. We just go to the back and yeah, we just go to here. And this is the final part of this episode. Basically, right now, where's the stretcher? And then we turn back. Oh no, it's Toshio right here. And we're gonna do a dramatic fall. Whee!
I like how he's a ghost who can use a bunch of otherworldly powers to kill us. What does he do? He just gives us a light shove.
Just a little one.
Just a little shove, but it's so dramatic as well.
Yeah, just a little love tap.
And that's the end of episode 2. Oh, we survived, right? Nah,
Nope.
we didn't survive. By the way, I do want to mention as well, all the episodes in this game is just you going to like a location. Yeah, you go to a location, go from point A to point B, and then you die. You just die. That's about it. Yeah.
The game. Okay.
I mean, it's a haunted house simulator for a reason.
They're dying to sub to Game Some Quick. That's what this is.
Oh wow. Really good. Really good.
Okay, let's go with the third episode right now, which is the derelict apartments. Okay. So the derelict apartments is one of the levels that I think that you could actually do it in like one shot, one battery, but I'm not good at it, so I'm gonna take 2 batteries anyway. Yeah. But you're playing as Kenji. Kenji is a delivery guy. If I'm not mistaken, this is the son or the brother of...
Yeah, the son.
Yeah. It's the son of the family, but the brother to Erica. So yeah. Also, we're in like a derelict apartments in the middle of the night. So he's out to do his delivery, and that's about it. So yeah. What is the last character's name? I kind of forgot as well.
I believe Hero.
Hero, there you go. So that's the dad, if I'm not mistaken, of the whole game. So yeah. Other than that,
and also just his reasoning for coming here kind of strikes me as because like the other characters, they have their own motivations going where they go. Miki, I guess she had some sort of injury. Erica, she was looking for her dog. But Ken just goes into a random apartment complex in the middle of nowhere, where no one are in these apartments, by the way. So I don't know what he was thinking.
Oh, that also reminds me as well. Like, so funny enough, this game is very hard to find as well. This is like one of the rare gems of like Wii games. If you were to try to get this game is about like, how much is it right now? The last time I checked was like $100 or something like that.
Wow.
I bought this game for $15. Weirdly enough. Is it here? Sorry, it's not here.
Yeah, I was lucky, and I got this game back in 2012 when it was still fresh.
I got this game like a few years ago actually for $15.
Yeah, I think I got it on Amazon for like 40.
Yeah, so the reason why I got it for like that cheap was that the seller didn't know it was expensive at all, and he was selling it for like 15. He wanted to sell it away, so I was like, "Hey, yo, can I get that?" Then he was like, "Okay, sure." And then I didn't tell him that it was like $100. I was like, "Thank you for the game," without telling him it's $100.
Lost on $85.
Yeah, you got it for a good price.
Very good price. Did I scam the guy? Maybe. But
it's like if someone sold you an NES cart, didn't tell you what it was, and it was for like $20, and then it turns out it's a Nintendo World Championships gold cart.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, we are in the apartment right now. Oh no, the box is spooky. Also, here comes Ninja. Go to box. Smoke comes out. Oh no, Ninja. It's Kayako.
Look, there
I
she
don't know
is.
I don't know what the intention of this is, but sure. Alright.
I think it's kind of to show, oh, you've been tricked.
Yeah.
It also introduces a new type of QTE here. So there's the normal, like, arrow QTEs you've seen on the screen up to this point. But starting from this level, the game has this, like, weirdly angled...
Whoa!
This point,
there we go.
Oh, what the heck? That was... See, that's what I mean about the motion controls. They just kind of wig out sometimes. But yeah, going back to what I was saying, with the QTEs, there's obviously normal arrows you've been seeing on the screen so far. But starting from this level, they introduce a weirdly angled QTE where it's just like a arrow pointed flat at the screen relative to your perspective.
Yeah.
And for those, you don't just like wiggle the Wii remote in that direction. You actually have to point it forwards or backwards. I like to call it a jab because when you do the backwards one, you kind of have to poke yourself with the Wiimote to do it.
Yeah, this is the test of, like, they say you whether or not being scared or not. So if you're like super scared, your Wiimote would be like shaking a lot. That's what the intention of that quick time event is. We'll get to that later on, but I need to pick up a battery right here. So hands, very creepy hands. Also, this ball makes the best sound in the game. Oh heck yeah! Hear how muddy that is.
Squishy. Wow.
Yep. Anyways, we're gonna go to this door right here. We got the padlock key from an apartment room. We're just gonna be using it right here. Oh, the door opens up. What's gonna happen? Yeah, we're just gonna go into one of the apartments real quick as well. I also did mention earlier in the game, like, there's one jump scare that actually got me, like, so hard. It's this one right here. The one that's coming up.
Yeah. And speaking of doors, the game, for whatever reason, just has really dramatic door opening animations, like it's trying to be a Resident Evil game.
Yeah.
It really is.
Alright, here comes the jump scare. You pick, like, an item up from here. It's a key. You're supposed to go downstairs, and then there you go. That actually got me when I played this game for the first time. Everything else didn't really get me until that point, and that one was like, it caught me off guard because I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna pick up a key. Oh well, there's that. Anyway, we're gonna be going into this door. There you go. Go! There we go. Alright, so we're gonna go into this door right here. I'm just gonna go towards the cabinet door and then just like rub my body against it for a bit. But basically we're just locked in, as you can tell. There's hair all over. Yep.
Yeah, this room is on a timer. After a few seconds of being in here, Kayako goes after you.
But yeah, right now, here comes the quick time event that Nerd was talking about this whole time.
Oh yeah, speaking of new QTEs, we get to see another new one here. So obviously there's the one where you shake the Wii remote in the direction of the arrow. But this one, you don't do any of that. You just point the cursor at the circle that's on the screen. And some of them get really hard. You'll see one in the next stage. Yeah, you'll see one in the next stage where it's like really tiny the whole time, and it moves really fast at the same time. And it's pretty difficult. This one, not so much. It's just creepy. Because you can see her eyes roll back into her skull. It actually creeped me out the first time I saw it.
Have someone
that's unsettling.
whose eyes roll like that. If you can get someone that could roll their eyes like that during Love time. That's great. Good job for
Oh,
you.
good gosh.
Anyway, we're out of here.
We're out of here.
Final part of the game as well, or final part of the episode, I would say. We're gonna see Spider Kayako because she's gonna be like Spider Woman pretty soon. All right, here comes a little bit of the movement, and
Is this Juon or Spider-Man 2?
it's probably Spider-Man
Oh,
2.
Oh, you're on the wrong show. I heard people like that game.
Oof. All right, here we go. More quick time events right here. Oh no. Thanks, Toshio, just meowing in front of my face like that.
Yeah. There's a little bit of lore behind Toshio while it's spinning after the level's done.
All right. Here comes the spider. Alright, I guess the, the Exorcist?
A little bit of that too, yeah.
There you
I
go.
also like Ken at the end of this level because he does the classic horror character mistake of turning around. So he turns around to see if Kayako came after him, and yoink.
There you go, that's, episode 3. Got one more episode to go.
Yeah, and to go into the Toshio lore I was alluding to, so I mentioned earlier at the start how these spirits that are haunting us came about because of a murder in the family, where a husband killed his wife and child. When the child, Toshio, got killed, he was also killed alongside the family cat. I believe his name was Mar. And when they became these angry spirits, Onryo in Japanese, they merged.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that's why if you ever watch any of the Ju-on movies, which you should do, by the way, because they're pretty good, that's why whenever you see Toshio on screen in any of the movies, he'll meow to signal he's about to attack someone.
Alright. Now we're playing as the dad, which is Hiro. And a lot of, like, movement stuff in this, episode. There's a lot of, like, little minute tech stuff and a bunch of skips as well that I didn't know about until, like, I ran this game again. Because thanks to Matt when he got the record, and I was like, oh, what was the new skip? And then it's just literally just one thing and a lot more optimization for this run.
It's like one small thing that lets you skip a lengthy cutscene. It's kind of weird too. Matt, you might have seen him on some GDQ Hotfix shows in the past. He is a really good variety runner, and he just kind of came out of nowhere and got the record.
Yeah, I
Just like
I
that.
didn't realize that Matt would run this game, and I was like, what? Shout out to Matt as well. There's a lot of really good runners in Ju-on the Grudge. Surprisingly enough, runners that you have seen on GDQ before, so, yep. Alright, here comes the skip. So, at this part, you're supposed to see this cutscene, or like, okay, the whole time in this game, you're supposed to, or in this episode, you're supposed to collect 3 numbers for a pin code. This is one of them right here. Once you turn back, there's gonna be like a cutscene where you actually see Kayako, but if you were to look up like this, if I can actually do this, look up.
No, you're good.
Yeah, you skip the cutscene.
Yeah, there we go.
Yep. This
Yeah,
is
it's
very,
like a-
very minute.
Yeah, it's like a quick cutscene where Kayako walks by and it takes a couple of seconds, but you'll have to watch that.
Yeah, I don't know how someone would find that. I think Matt found it, and I was like, what? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I saw that skip for the first time, and I was like, why is he pointing his camera up?
Then you
It
realize,
blew-
oh yeah,
it
he's
blew-
skipping. He's skipping
Yeah,
the
it
cutscene.
blew my mind.
Anyways, we gotta get another battery right here. Hair! Alright. Next one we're gonna go to is the male bathroom. I wanna say male bathroom. Not the female, but the male bathroom. Yes.
I think it's male bathroom, yeah.
Okay, this is the one that I really had to angle myself really carefully, because if I don't angle myself right, this is gonna make me 360 the whole thing.
Yeah, like half the battle with running this game is just getting the controls to respond. To be honest. Like half the
Okay,
time
here
when
we go.
people have an optimal movement in this, it's because the Wii remote motion controls wigged out somehow.
Ah, whatever. Just slowly 360 for sure. Yeah, I'm supposed to like point myself to the right side of it, so there's that. Anyways, Kayako's in the male's bathroom. Don't know why, but we're gonna do the other quick time event again.
Yeah, and this is one I was talking about where it's really, really difficult. Because you can see the circle is shrinking really fast already, and it's moving really fast.
Oh god,
Because,
thank god
like-
I didn't do
Because
that.
like this is meant to be the quote-unquote final boss, assuming you're not doing the true ending. So the game tries to throw a lot of really difficult stuff at you all at once.
But yeah, if you actually fail that, you go back to the beginning of the episode, which is really, really bad.
Yeah, and I'll go ahead and explain it here since we won't see it here since we're doing any percent. But the final level that you do for true ending is the Seiki house, the infamous house from the Ju-On series. And there's two things that just make it absurdly difficult, at least for a first-time player. One, it is a bunch of jagged corners, because it's like a traditional Japanese house, right? So it's really hard to move around, and you only get one extra battery. That's it. So you're practically forced to speed run through the level in order to survive, because you have a very limited battery.
Yeah, right now we're just gonna go into a room full of mannequins, as you can tell.
Ugh.
That is a glitch, I would say, or like a bug, where you just see all these mannequins and then afterwards there's a wall right in front of you, so yeah. Anyways, this is the last pin number that we get, which is a 9. Yeah, there we go. So the whole pin number is 936. Other than that... Oh, what's that sound? Kayako's here.
Actually, I think it's 926 for the pin.
Is it 926? I think it's 936.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay. I haven't run this game in a long time, so yeah.
It's also early. It might be a little sleep deprived, and it might be a little hard to read.
But yeah, it's been a long time since I've ran this game. The last time I got a personal best on this game was like 2 years ago, I think. So it's been a long time.
Yeah, in fact, the last time I touched this was, oddly enough, when I ran for GDQ Hotfix.
Yeah!
For speedruns from the crypt.
He was in the crypt. I was there as well.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. So we got all the 3 pin code numbers for this run. And now we're just gonna be so-called dashing towards the end, where we had to just go to... Well, this whole level is supposed to be going towards the... the generator room or something like that? The power room, sorry. And then just...
Yeah, like a power room where you turn on a breaker.
Yep, there we go. Alright. Move, thank you. Alright, here we go. This is like the dash to the end as well. Like, so-called dash. Want to give a few shoutouts real quick because, you know, this is about to end off as well. Shoutouts to Nerd. Thank you for being here, and you have another run that's coming up later on as well. Yep. Shoutouts to the runners of Drew on the Grudge. You may know people like Mad, Swordfish, Ictisis. Yep. And Nerd as well. He runs this game. Yeah, it's 926.
Yeah,
oh my god, I thought it was 936.
I like true ending a normal amount. Like, no joke, it's one of my first ever speedruns. I mentioned how I got the game back in 2012. I also started speedrunning the game then, so technically it's the same as one of my very first speedruns. And I don't know if I want to feel proud of that or not.
Gotta start somewhere, you know?
Yeah, you gotta start somewhere. Yeah. Other than that, thanks Conception for having me on your show.
Oh, of course. It was my pleasure.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to get you on here for a while now.
Oh yeah, I saw that too. I thought you missed that one.
I thought I almost missed that. I was like, because I was like putting my controller on the on my leg. All right.
Yeah,
Here we go.
for this level in particular, if we were to start all over again, it would waste 8 minutes. So we would be overestimate. But we're okay.
Very overestimate.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
this
jinx
is like
it.
the walk towards the end, I guess.
Now we have a
Walk
final
towards the
string
end?
of.
Is
we
it?
have a final
Oh wait, is it not? Wait. Why is it not working? Hello?
What's
okay,
happening?
there you go. Like, wait, what's happening? Okay.
That's
It's
a
so
new
weird.
one. That's never happened before. What?
Yeah, I've never happened before. It would just, it
Come
just
on,
make me
yeah.
walk. So yeah, this is the final part of the game where you just have to move your Wiimote around. Alright. Time's gonna come when you know, I have last movement, I guess.
Yep. There we go. Time. Or wait, no. There we
Time,
go.
there you go, time.
I was a little premature.
Premature, yeah. But yes, this is Beyond the Grudge. That's all 4 episodes of the ending percent. If you wanna check true ending, as always YouTube or the YouTube bots, or GDQ bots, I would say. Nerd Square ran this game last year for Speedruns Unequipped. And yeah, that is Ju-On the Grudge. I've ran this game like 3 times already, twice on Speedruns Unequipped. Recently actually ran this game as well on Speedruns Unequipped, and yeah, on Awfully Silly. That's all 4 episodes, as you can tell. If you want to check me out on Juhorse, JURSE. I run a lot of horror games, a lot of gen games, a lot of variety, bad games. I want to hopefully try to speedrun more games sooner or later as well. But yeah, that's me. Conception, if you have anything to say, or Nerd as well. I guess we'll pass it to Nerd for a bit. You have any shoutouts?
Yeah, I just want to give a quick plug for my next run. I kind of mentioned earlier about how Banban was cursed. If you're wondering what that's about, stick around and find out.
Well, all right then. I know I will be sticking around to find out for sure. But thank you so much, Juhorse and Nerd, for putting on this incredible commentary. Yeah, this is a game. This is a game for sure.
It's the video game of all time.
Yes.
Yep, and I'm very happy that we were finally able to get a Juhorse run on the show. So thank you for being here.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Okay, for everybody out there, we still have more spooky, silly games for you tonight, so don't go anywhere, but we are going to take a little bit of a break here, so feel free to get up, stretch. Don't stretch so far that your head turns around like the character here, but we will see you back in just a few short moments. All right, welcome back to Awfully Silly, everyone. Well, I hope you enjoyed our first run of our silly spooky game series. We had Ju-On the Grudge, run by Juhorse. Really, really interesting Wii game there that I had not really heard of until I got to see Juho run that at another event, and had to have it on. For a nice pre-Halloween episode for us. And we got some more spooky games coming up here for you, but before we get to that, if you happen to have missed out on any of our other Hotfix shows in the past, or later today, or later this week, whatever the case may be, feel free to check out the VODs. Those are going to be on youtube.com/gamesdonequick. And additionally, your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits cheered on the GDQ Twitch channel help support Games Done Quick Hotfix. So if you enjoy watching speedruns daily, consider subscribing to the channel. We appreciate you. All right, so the next run is actually, it's sneaky. It's a little sneaky because it's not one game. It's not actually 2 games. And it's not even 3 games. It's actually 4 games, but they're all within the same series. That's right. It is the Garten of Banban series. Specifically, we're going to be doing a quadrilogy, any percent, and that's going to be run by a very familiar voice, Nerd Squared. Nerd Squared, it is all yours.
All right, thank you for that intro, Conception. Hey, I'm Nerd Squared. You might have seen me in the Ju-On run. Those happened just a second ago, but I'm back. And I'll be continuing this episode with a little game that you might not have heard of called Garten of Banban. Actually, you might very well have heard of this because this game went viral this past year. To go into more depth about what this game actually is, though, it's a indie mascot horror like your Poppy Playtimes or Five Nights at Freddy's, made by two brothers named Ferris and Geppo, although you might otherwise know them as the Euphoric Brothers. They pretty much made these games because they saw the viral success of games like Poppy Playtime or FNAF, and they decided to try to capitalize on that by making a horror game with varying degrees of success. In fact, you might have seen some memes online of people speedrunning beating these games in under 2 hours to get a refund. You're about to see why. Because, fittingly with this being awfully silly, they're questionable quality, and you'll definitely see what that's about in this. To go over a couple of things real quick, though, I did mention Conception did mention just a second ago that this is a quadrilogy run, which will definitely make things interesting on the tech side, because I believe this is the first multi-game run you've had on this show, but we'll work with it. And this is going to be any percent for all four, so all glitches are allowed, obviously, and thought the scene was wrong, but yeah. It's 90%, all four games. And the interesting thing about it, as you'll kind of see, is that they just get progressively more and more broken as we go along. And we'll see what that entails. I'm going to go ahead and start a new game. By the way, whenever we start Banban and any of the games, we get this really weird intro screen. It doesn't actually do anything. It just gives you lore, like little bits of lore as to what's happening. Like as we click along this clock here, you'll see the scene change a little bit. Because, it wants to look spooky and whatnot. Alright, so I think we'll go ahead and get started without any further ado, because we got 4 games in a row to go through.
Lucky us.
Yeah, and time starts as soon as I do my first movement input here. So we'll start in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so first thing I have to do is grab that key card, because we're going to go in here to get our drone. This is our main way that we interact with the environment, kind of like the grab pack, if you're familiar with Poppy Playtime. We have to grab a couple of batteries to power it up. So go ahead and do that. We're going to do our first force quit with a wonderful background on the desktop. That is essentially the Banban version of force quitting, or save loading, I should say, because there's certain points in the games, all 4, where if we hit the checkpoint and then force quit out, and then reload the game, it'll take us to a further point in the area. Which is going to save us boatloads of time throughout all 4 of the games, and in some cases it'll allow us to do some pretty massive skips later on. You also see, again throughout all 4, but especially in these first few seconds in Banban 1, that I'm doing these little setups with the drone. Because running theme throughout Banban, because like I said, the drone is our main way of interacting with the world, as you'll do puzzles where you have to hit buttons with the drone to activate things. So you'll see some setups throughout the games where I'll point the camera in a very precise way to get the drone to move in a pretty precise way in order to clear these puzzles fast. Right here I'm grabbing 6 eggs, because we need to get a key card that's in this pink bird's mouth over here, and we need to feed him 6 eggs to be able to grab that key card, and we get some nice bass sounds when we put in the eggs too. There we go. So as soon as we put the eggs in, we'll do another force quit. And that will give us our key card. Get used to this splash screen, by the way, because we'll be seeing that a lot with all the force quits. That, by the way, is the Fork Brothers avatar right there. Pretty nice design. So I'm going to grab that key card because I need to use this key card to press the switch on the wall. That'll activate that button over there, so that when the drone hits it, right there, get to grab that hammer and do another force quit. By the way, a lot of these force quits are just save like really tiny bits of time to save on movement. Like right here, after we grab the hammer, we'd have to physically turn ourselves around, but doing the force quit just does that for us. We grab the hammer because we need to break down these 2 wooden boards to a definitely not restricted area. Then I'm going to do another force quit after activating that button. Pressing that button lets us take a cart that goes to the other side of this chasm, which used to be a ball pit, even though it might not look like it, for lore reasons that may or may not be revealed in the future Banban game. Basically, something happened here in this, it's called Banban's Kindergarten. It's basically like one big school. Our kids went missing. We're a parent. And we're trying to find our kids inside here. That's the basic plot of Banban. We have to get another key card. So we'll do a quick puzzle for that. It's a pretty simple color matching puzzle. You just have to match the symbols on the wall with the colors of these mascots. Alright, and I'm going to try to do a frame-perfect trick here when I grab this key card. Alright. So what I did was I force quit like the frame after I grabbed that key card. And if I do it right, I will end up on the other side of the chasm where I started taking that cart. Okay, I don't want to say for certain. Yeah, I may have gotten it. We'll see. I can tell because I'll be able to open this door here at the end of this hallway. Let's go. Okay.
Oh, wow. Nice.
So what I did...
Perfect.
Yep, that is a frame-perfect trick right there. So what I did is I Alt-F forward, or force quit, as soon as I grabbed the key card. And... because what normally happens when you grab that key card is... the game places a checkpoint there where the cart that you were on to get over there starts moving away. And you'd have to get chased by this pink bird named Opila. Which, by the way, that's why I'm wearing this Angry Birds hoodie for. You get chased by Opila, and then you hit that button that was on the other side next to where the cart was. And then he'd like bonk the side of the hill and fall into the chasm. But we avoid having to do that. And we can just go right over. And that's the end of Banban 1. Banban 1 goes by pretty fast because it's a pretty short game. You know, it's the introductory chapter of this series. It makes sense. But the games start getting a little longer. Because I mentioned earlier about how people were speedrunning these games in under 2 hours to get a refund is like one giant meme. Banban 2 is where that originates, because starting from here, the games just get a lot longer, and that's the start of Banban 2. The games starting from here just get longer and longer, because I guess to kind of spite people, you know, memeing about speedrunning the game for a refund, the euphoric builds just put a bunch of padding in the later games. And it kind of culminates with Banban 3 being the longest game in this run at around a half hour. Because Banban 3 is a lot more cutscenes that we can't skip, even with all the glitches that we have available. So we start with Banban 2 directly after Banban 1 ended, with a little bit of context missing. Because in the cutscene that I skipped by force quitting as soon as I hit the elevator button, we actually crash on the elevator in an encounter with a monster that we'll be seeing later in these games, called Jumbo Josh. He's like this green gorilla kind of character. He wrestles us on the elevator and causes us to crash, and we're down here after the fact, trying to fix our remote, because you might notice that our antenna is crumbled. Because our remote broke, so we have to go ahead and fix it.
You there? I can see.
But while we wait, we get some nice voice acting here.
And I need your help with something.
Trust, it gets better with age,
hear me?
because we actually get some professional voice actors in these games, so with Banban 4. But yeah, that's Banban right there, that's talking on the intercom. If I'm not mistaken, I believe he's actually voiced by one of the Euphoric brothers. I'm not sure which one, but I know for sure it's one of the brothers.
Thank God. I'm so glad
You'll be hearing him a lot throughout the 4 games, so get used to hearing him.
The security room. The door closed behind.
So yeah, we interact with the intercom there by just shaking our remote like this, and that starts a 40-second sequence where you have to wait until he opens the door to this break room. Because in there is a fixed antenna that we can use to operate our drone. As well, Banban 2 introduces, it's the first game in the series to introduce that introduces us to going to all these different areas interwoven with a central hub. You might have seen that bridge I was walking on a second ago when I started. So we'll be doing that in this. The first area we'll be going to is the maintenance sector. That's in this kind of basement area behind that green door. Well, I have a quick puzzle to do here. This puzzle goes in order of the shades of the colors on these desks, and I messed it up somehow. That's fun. Oh, wait, I think I know what I did, actually. I did a silly. Definitely not intended. Yeah, it's this, 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 and over here, and over here. Cool. Yeah, I kind of borked and forgot a step in the puzzle, but yeah.
I lost mine a couple of weeks ago.
It's actually kind of important to do that puzzle fast because if you take too long in that puzzle, a piece of dialogue starts, as you might have just heard over the intercom. And when that dialogue starts playing, you are unable to pick up that green key card. So you're forced to wait until that dialogue is done to pick it up, which is a big time waste. But yeah, now we're in the maintenance sector. We have to get another key card to get access to a secret room that's in that little, like, I guess, reception area that we were just in. And to get that key card, we have to do a pretty precise setup for a drone puzzle here. I mentioned how there's a lot of drone puzzles in these games, and we're about to have a pretty tough one here, because I've set up the cursor very precisely to hit all 3 of these buttons in about 3 moves. So that's the first move. I just send the drone there, and I'll line up with the bomb right at that box. There we go. We hit the second button. I'm going to line up the cursor with the very edge of that red button over there. Alright, cool. A lot more precise than it looks, because that last lineup right there is borderline pixel precise. So it's pretty good that I got it so quick.
Wow. He's impressive.
Yeah. And if you mess that up, it just turns into a spaghetti fest. Yeah, we're just do a quick chase sequence here. You might hear some ominous chase music going on. It might not look like anything because you can't actually see anything besides the room being very dark. But there's actually a monster chasing me this entire time called Nab Nab, which is like this blue spider that scuttles along the ceiling. And if he ever crosses paths with you during that chase sequence, you get immediately jump scared. And we haven't seen it yet, but the death screens in Banban are incredible. There's like one point later on probably where I can show it off. So yeah, we finally got our blue key card. We'll open the store and grab a note. There we go. Which is basically a big IOU, because Banban sneaks up and knocks us out. And this is where the game starts getting a little convoluted with the lore, because he makes allusions to things like pancreases and surgery. Little bit of spoiler for the Banban lore. There's basically some experimentation going on where they're turning people, I think workers in the establishment, into these monsters that you'll be seeing in the games. And some of them definitely went very awry and caused them to like act out once they're transformed. I actually even see that later with Banban, because there's a pretty cool variant of Banban that shows up in Banban 3 and Banban 4, but we won't see it in the speedrun, where he like turns evil and has a really creepy face. It's a pretty cool chase we'll get to do with him at the end of Banban 3, but we don't really see that appear until then. So he knocks us out, and we wake up in a completely different sector of the building. And right away, as is common with these games, we have a drone puzzle. We have a pretty tricky lamp with this one. Have to line up with this gurney. Aim my cursor right around there. And by doing that, the drone will go straight to the yellow glass there and break it. We need to hit that button over there and activate the switch. That's a bit of a puzzle skip right there, because you're supposed to hit the drone where these yellow X's are and then go around and hit the button, but of course I circumvented a few steps there. I also like to point this out whenever I run this game on any event. You can see there's these lights that are like plastered to the ceiling, but this one in particular is off the ceiling at an angle, and I haven't been able to unsee it.
Yeah, okay, I saw it.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
Like, they almost got the lights right, they just messed up that one. I also got in this tram a little early, which causes this neat little effect where the doors just stay open. What's supposed to happen is, the doors open, you get on the tram, and then you hit this button that takes you up. But if you get on early, the doors close or open instead when you get on the tram. And just like hook through the walls, you're going up there. It looks a little goofy. So I mentioned earlier about how there's really weird aspects of this game involving like surgery and turning people into these monsters. I don't really know of a way to explain it other than we're going to take the syringe and then do a blood drive with these monsters. We're basically going to take a bunch of monster blood. Because we need to get these monsters' blood in order to fill a container to actually not get a keycard, get a firecracker. Because in order to get out of this section, we need a pink key card. But the pink key card is behind a door that's blocked by this monster right here. I don't actually know the name of this monster. I assume it's Jumbo Josh that we kind of saw at the start. Yeah, we smack his eye with the drone. It gets monster blood from him. By the way, the monster blood is actually called Givanium, which is what allows these monsters to become monsters. We grab Givanium from all of those monsters and then put them in this container. That'll let us get our firecracker. We're going to put it in a cannon to shoot that big green monster in the face. And that's how we can finally get to the other side of the hallway and get the key card. So we'll put the firecracker in the cannon. We'll shoot it. Then it goes ooga booga. And then it goes backwards. And we can finally go in here. There we go. We got our pink key card. And we're finally done with this section, which takes a lot longer than it should. So we can go over here and open this door. We're going to a different sector. Again, going to different areas. Concept of Banban 2 introduces. And normally I do a bit of a jump here using that bridge to get across. But I mentioned earlier about how the death screens in Banban are fantastic. So I'm going to show you what that looks like real quick. So I'll just jump in this chasm. This is what a death screen in Banban looks like. That's it. It just shows a random letter of the alphabet. And in case you're wondering, that does not allude to any, like, hidden bit of lore or anything. It's just there.
Lovely.
Darn. Alright. The thing is, though, doing that actually puts me in a bit of a tricky position now, because now the bridge isn't there, so I have to do a much harder variant of this jump to get over there. It's not quite pixel precise, like the drone shots I did early in the game, but it's up there. It's pretty tough to time. Because you have to like jump at the very edge of the bridge to be able to grab the collision on the other side. Also, for whatever reason, Banban 2 in particular just lags when the menu loads, and I have no idea why. It might be a patch thing, or it might be a settings thing. I'm not entirely sure. Okay, finally we got over. So that just avoids taking a bridge to go over there. You normally have to call the bridge over that we used to get to the maintenance sector earlier. We'd use that to go over here to this room to do this button puzzle. But you can jump off the bridge as it's coming back to you as a little platforming skip. But of course, I showed off the death screen because I wanted to be fancy, so we had to do a harder version of that, and we still managed. So the puzzle here is pretty simple. We have to hit these 4 buttons to activate a switch on that desk over there. And there's a bit of a... There's a slightly faster version of this where you can, like, aim the drone at very specific spots and do this bit in less moves, but I'm not too familiar with it, so I have to do that version instead, where I just bonk the drone against the wall. And then when I activate the switch on the desk, I do another force quit, because that avoids a really long running section that we'd have to do to get down this hallway. Trust me, it's lengthy. It takes at least 30 seconds to get down this long hallway if you don't do that. Like I said, these later Banban games introduce a lot of filler, and this is the point. This is one of those points where it becomes very apparent. Also, I'm going to do a sneaky snake trick there. Okay, cool. So I paused the game when I hit that, as the drone was about to hit that last button, so that way I can carry the drone into this room. You normally have to do a long minigame here, where you meet up with the mascot over there, named Bambolina, and you basically do a quiz game. That's the gist of this section. Well, we get to skip that, and we're out of there. But we have another skip right after another. Because there's a puzzle here where we'd have to take some baby chick versions of that Opila bird we encountered earlier and put them in a nest to be able to leave this room. But I'm going to open this door, wait until Opila comes in. This is precise timing here. No, that was just barely too late. So what I'm looking for is I'm looking for a very specific period in Opila's walking cycle. Because there's like a brief period where he's about to like charge up and go after you, where he can slip by without him noticing you. And I timed it just a little too late there, so I'll have to redo that. You might have noticed there when I died that I force quit out of the game. One sec, I have to try this again. Okay, cool, got that time. You might have noticed when I died there when attempting that I force quit out of the game. Because as you saw earlier when I jumped in the pit intentionally, there's that pretty lengthy death screen where you have to see the random letter of the alphabet and then press E to respawn. And that takes a while. So it's generally faster to just, as you're about to die, force quit out of the game and then reload. Because even after going through that lengthy death screen, you still have to wait through the game loading, which can take a while. So thankfully you don't have to sit through that. And I'm starting and stopping here because once we get out of that section with Opila, there's basically a game of red light, green light you have to do with this snail. As long as the snail is moving, I have to stay still, and only when he stops for a second, like that, to search, is when I can move. If I ever move when he's moving, that would be a jump scare and instant death. Also, I'm going to go ahead and force quit here. I typically don't do this in runs, but I'm doing that for the sake of everyone's ears, because normally in a normal run, after doing those two skips back to back that I just did, I'd have two instances of that really loud bass-heavy music playing over each other, and that's super loud and really annoying, so thankfully you don't have to listen to that. So I'll be going in here to collect some shells because there's a mini game we need to do in this room. And in order to actually do it, I need a key card. Running thing with this game, we'll be grabbing a lot of key cards in order to actually activate the mini game. And to get that key card, I need to grab these 8 shells and place them in a treasure chest over there. Also, I meant to mention this earlier, I just didn't have a chance to, but the sound folly in this game is amazing. You might have heard earlier when I was using the drone to hit those buttons. When the drone smacks against anything, it does this really weird sound. I might try to show it off at the end of this minigame once it's done. But got a green key card there. And now I'll be doing what's probably the worst bit of RNG, or worst point of RNG in the entire series. We're basically going to play shoot the targets. So you'll see these buttons light up around the arena. Whichever button is lit up, we have to hit the corresponding cannon. So that button on the right there activated, so we have to use the cannon on the left, and vice versa. So we'll do 3 rounds of this in the first round. There's 3 rounds total. And then we'll do 4 rounds in the next 2 rounds after that. And the reason this part is like such a big point of RNG is obviously which buttons activate is random. And as the rounds go along, there'll be more and more cannons we have to use. It's like now these 2 cannons on the other side are active too. So I'll activate this cannon on the right because that button on the left activated. I also notice in between games with these rounds, I'm picking up a firecracker. That's just so I have the firecracker ready. So as soon as the button is ready to be hit, I'll just use the cannon right away, instead of having to go over and grab the match, or grab the firecracker. Because if you take too long to shoot the cannon, you do fail. And failing this minigame is pretty lengthy, because if you fail any of these cannon shots, you have to start the entire round over again. And with how slow it can be, as you're seeing, it would take a long time. Or you would lose a lot of time. So, gotta avoid that. Alright, so now we're in the final round. In addition to the 4 cannons I had to activate before, There's also two cannons below this platform that I may have to activate depending on RNG. Looks like we already got one. There's two cannons, these cannons right here below deck that I'll have to activate. And that's where the big point of RNG with this minigame is, because if you get one of the below platform or below deck cannons, as I call it, you have to first hop down and then run over to whichever cannon or button is active, then hit the cannon. So if you have to go down and activate one of the two cannons below deck, that wastes time. So the ideal RNG for this is to get no below deck cannons at all, but that, given how many rounds of this you have to do, it's extremely rare to get that kind of luck. I usually get at least one below deck cannon in any given run. We're getting pretty good RNG so far. We only got one below deck cannon.
Have you ever got any that were no below deck cannons?
I think that might be the last one. We'll see. Okay, cool. The minigame's done. Thankfully, don't have to suffer through cannons anymore. We're grabbing this blue key card to get to our final area after we activate that button. And the last area is something. Because so far we've had, like, you know, the color minigame in the first game. We just had cannons in this. So what do you think the final boss of Banban 2 is going to be? Any guesses?
Not sure.
Alright. Well, anyway, the last bit of the game for Banban 2 is actually a parkour section, which is definitely safe for a children's school building.
Yeah, definitely safe. Sorry, yeah. We had a weird glitch with Discord there where it was not picking up my voice, but we are back.
Huh.
There we go.
Kaiko cursed your microphone from the last game.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah, cursed back here.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was not what I was going to guess, no.
Yeah. Well, Banban actually does have actual bosses, speaking of. You'll see that in Banban 3. But yeah, I'll be doing a quick parkour section here. It's actually pretty tough to do this fast, because the thing with Banban, the physics, for all 4 games, you have basically no air control. Once you start jumping in a direction, you are committed to moving to that direction until you land. So if you accidentally do a jump in a direction you didn't mean to, you're more than likely falling to your death. And that section can be pretty stressful, especially if you're on like a really good pace and you have to do that last section flawlessly. It can actually be pretty nerve-wracking. But yeah, we've got out of the parkour section. I quit out there as soon as the doors closed. Skips a little cutscene where Banbalina and Jumbo Josh come out to say hi. And we'll do a quick chase sequence with them to end off Banban 2.
Wow, we're just crushing right through these, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the crazy thing about Banban when I do these multi-game runs. Like, it is a 1 hour run, obviously. The estimate is an hour 15. But it does not feel like an hour. It flies by pretty fast.
Yeah, we certainly see a lot. We certainly see a lot across these games. Whoa, that's good. Me, sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, we're doing a quick chase where Banban, or Banbalina, and Jumbo Josh try to come after us. You can even see Jumbo Josh like kind of punching through the walls and the ceiling. But it's a set pattern. There's no like randomness here, so we can take the same path every time. I imagine for first-time players, though, that Jumbo Josh just like punching through the walls kind of startles them. I've even seen some weird glitches happen. I've even seen some weird glitches happen in here in this section too, where like Jumbo Josh can like clip through walls. That's like Banbalina here, because she just looks like this when she chases us. But yeah, she's gonna get game ended by Jumbo Josh there. Rip Banbalina. We take a white key card off her corpse, and now we're going to the elevator. Cool. Get used to elevators, by the way, because Banban ends with an elevator for all the games. And that's the end of Banban 2. Going into Banban 3, which is not only the longest game in the quadrilogy, or at least the longest game in the series so far, it's also, I would say, the hardest. for like glitch and trick execution. And it's also the most convoluted, as we're definitely going to see halfway through with the plot. Alright, and now we're starting Banban 3. Appropriately with Banban 3, we start off with the cutscene. Again, I mentioned earlier about how these games have a lot of padding. A lot of padding. And Banban 3 carries on that tradition, because we have a 1-minute section where at the start where we're forced to wait. Because similarly to Banban 1, where we had to grab a couple of batteries, power a remote, we have to do the same here. This is the second battery right here, but we cannot grab the second battery until Banban is done talking here. So we have to wait a little bit for that. Should also point out that my drone is looking flying today, pun not intended. You might have noticed a little bit ago I went to a customization section over there, or customization bench over there. You can customize the color of your drone. You can also customize the color of your remote. So I went ahead and changed it to purple there. Might as well do it, because you have time to wait while the dialogue is going.
That's where he resides.
I like that color scheme. That's nice.
Yeah. I mean, one of the mascots right there is purple, so it makes sense. Didn't intend for that.
Purple.
Yeah, didn't intend for that, but it fits.
Yeah, there you go. Thematic.
So I'll go in here, I'll do a quick force quit once a line of dialogue appears on the subtitles. That just avoids that dialogue playing, so we can do that section right away. And I'm grabbing a series of crayons here that are scattered around the floor. Because, again, anything with Banban, grabbing key cards. There's a key card we need to grab there. We need to grab, I don't know how many crayons there are, but I'll guess like 7 or 8. We have to grab 7 or so crayons that are scattered, or I think 8 crayons actually. 8 or so crayons that are just scattered on the floor here. You can see me picking them up. We'll pick all these crayons up off the floor. And we're going to run a cleaner to detect, hey, the crayons aren't here. By the way, cleaner is spelled with a K. Fun fact. I'll run the cleaner. We'll grab these last few crayons. So 1, 2, 3. There we go. That's all the crayons. We'll go over here to this disposal shaft, and then we'll use the force to push these crayons in.
Wow, I didn't know you were a Jedi.
Yeah, that's the secret plot of Banban. This is the Star Wars Jedi Survivor sequel coming up in 2025. You're seeing the alpha of it.
They moved to first person, bold.
Yeah. Alright, so we got our pink key card there. And the entire reason we got that pink key card, by the way, again, going between different areas in Banban, we use a tram to go through these different sections now, which is this little thing right here. So we're going to go up. Oh, wait. Okay, I goofed. I went the wrong direction on the tram. So, you can't see it on stream right now, or you might have a second ago, but I actually have my splits for the quadrilogy up, because with the tram, when you're going between the different sections in Banban 3, you have to go in specific directions to get to where you need to go. And I was supposed to go right on the tram, relative to where I am right now, to get to the next area, the aquatic sector, and I accidentally clicked up. So I have to mosey on back to where I was, and then go the correct direction.
Bummer. Oh, well.
Yeah.
It was going too well.
Yeah, it was actually going really well up to this point, besides like that death on Opila and the death at the bridge. So I had to mess up at least once.
Yeah, can't be flawless.
Yeah, it definitely won't be flawless in Banban 4, because there's a potential soft lock in some of the skips in that game, so we'll see how it goes. Because if I mess up there and soft lock the game, oh boy, it's going to be a spaghetti fest.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So yeah, we finally went the right direction on the tram. You'll see the game kind of pop in here once I go across this load zone. Oop, there we go. So I'll press right click there, which automatically teleports the drone to a predetermined point in the room. And I'll line up the drone right there by smacking it against the wall. I'm going to try to line it up to hit the yellow glass from the other side. Okay, cool. That can be really tricky to line up because depending on where the drone ends up, you can just barely miss the yellow glass and bonk the wall instead. Which is annoying because it loses you, like, depending on where you missed or how much you missed or how often you miss it, anywhere between 5 to 15 seconds. It's really dang annoying, but we got a first try there. Now I'm going to go into this obnoxiously big room. You might be wondering who is in here. So say hello to Stinger Flynn. He's this orange octopus, I believe that's a species. Because if you were listening to the dialogue earlier at the start, you might have heard that Banban was talking about, oh, there's this person that can help you find your kids. Because again, we're trying to find our kids this whole series. So we'll wake him up with some ASMR audio, and we'll get some words of wisdom from him. There's a bit of a force quote we'll be doing here as well. It's at a specific point in his dialogue. It's when he says, "Leave this place." When that point in the subtitles appears, that's when we're able to quit out.
I can also tell.
And yes, if you're in case you're wondering, I'm pretty sure this is one of the euphoric brothers too, voicing Stinger Flynn, just with a really deep voice modulator.
Leave this place.
Yeah, I was going to say that'd be an impressive octave to be able to speak at normally.
Like I said, though, we get to see professional voice actors in Banban 4, and I mean that seriously. They did actually hire professional voice actors for Banban 4, some of which you might recognize just by hearing them. I'll point those out when they happen, or when they come up in Banban 4. But yeah, by doing that force quit, by the way, we're collecting buckets here, I'll explain that in a second. But by doing that force quit, we actually skipped a pretty significant portion of the game. It might not have looked like much, because we just skipped like one little section, and all of a sudden we're here. But by doing that force quit, we skipped a pretty lengthy, basically hallucination section, because again, these games get weird. We skipped a pretty lengthy hallucination section where we play as Stinger Flynn. Sounds weird, I know, but bear with me. We play as Stinger Flynn for a little bit, and if you remember that cannon minigame, yeah, that one with a bunch of RNG in Banban 2, we'd have to do that again as Stinger Flynn. So thankfully we get to skip that and avoid a pretty big point of RNG. Now we'll be playing Leapfrog, and we got that blue key card. That's what we got the buckets for. Window 4 is actually pretty generous, so you generally don't have to worry about missing these. It's probably one of the most boring points of the run, to be honest, because you're stuck doing too many games at once to get out of this room. But we have here soon enough. Do Leapfrog. Little fun fact, some of these minigames are actually themed around the mascots we encounter in this series. Like playing Leapfrog here, because a mascot that you can see on that poster over there, that's Sheriff Toadster. We'll be seeing him in Banban 4. Of course, he's a frog, so we have to do some hopping to get across the board. Alright, cool, got that cleanly. Like I said, the window for that is pretty generous, but it can be kind of annoying when you mess it up. Alright, so now we go into the medical sector. Because our whole goal right now is to chase down Stinger Flynn, because he escaped captivity after tricking us a second ago. But we can't actually do that at the moment. There's this, if you remember Nab Nab from Banban 2, he returns in this game, and the door to his room is open, so he's a danger to us and we can't go anywhere, as long as he's, out and about. So we have to go to the medical sector to do what I can only describe as one of the strangest sections in this entire series. Because I mentioned how it gets pretty weird with stuff like mentions of surgery and like all this experimentation. Well, what we're basically going to do in the medical sector is we're going to Frankenstein monster a mate for Nab Nab. That is not a joke. That's literally what we're going to do in this little section.
Oh, lovely. Now it's a dating sim. All right, this game has it all.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. It's more like Surgeon Sim than anything else, really. We have a bit of dialogue from Banban, though, to go through before we do the surgery minigame. Of course, we're going to skip it again. with some force quitting.
Nab escaped. It
When he says
wasn't long
Nap
before
Melina,
workers
that's when we'll
started to
force quit.
disappear. Of course, precautions and trading can only get you so far, so we had to think of a more permanent solution. Nab Melina.
There we go. So as soon as you start saying Nap Melina, I'll quit out. All right, now we're going to do some surgery. The way we do that is basically by color matching. If you remember before when I was taking the monster blood from those monsters, we're going to be doing the opposite and injecting Banbalina or Napalina with some monster blood. We have to match colors to do that, as you can see. Oh, we got white blue. That's kind of annoying. We have to match the colors. And you normally have to do like 6 rounds of this, each of them with different colors to match up. But I'm going to try to do a precise trick here where soon after injecting Napalina with the Gridanium, or the monster blood, I'm going to hit the same pattern I just got again, over and over. And really quickly too, because otherwise it messes the whole process up. And just inject Napalina with the same solution as I did the previous few rounds. In order to basically completely skip this minigame. Oh, come on, grab that. Red and green, okay. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I was talking about with having to do the same pattern over and over repeatedly. You have to do the patterns really soon after you inject Napalina with the monster blood. I keep calling it monster blood and Gridanium interchangeably. I'll just go ahead with monster blood. You have to inject her with the monster blood repeatedly, because if you take too long trying to get back to input the color pattern, the game will update the color pattern on the monitor above me, and it updates it and counts as a failure because you inputted the wrong solution. And if you do that, not only do you have to redo the whole minigame, but you also get a really loud jump scare with Napalina. It's pretty dang slow, because you have to do the whole minigame over. I'm going to go ahead and call it early and say that I hacked it there. It's like I said, it's very precise. If you take too long between putting the solution in and going back to input the pattern again, the monitor updates with the next pattern, and you aren't able to put the solution in. As I said, it counts as a fail or a mistake. I'm going to concentrate this time to make sure that I get it. Because you seriously have to be really quick at this for this to work.
Alright, we got this.
Yeah.
Green and green. Hey, green's my favorite color, so...
Hey, it's your lucky day then.
I know, green and purple, my 2 favorite colors. I really lucked out. How many of these do you have to do? How many injections?
I think we're on 6 rounds of this.
Okay.
What?
Darn. Oh,
I was too
really
slow.
fast to me.
Yeah. So the reason this is so tight, even though it might not look like it, because I'm just like going back and forth hitting buttons, is you basically have to input the same pattern that you saw at the start, in that case green, as soon as the buttons are able to be pressed, and you have to press it in a really quick fashion too. Otherwise the color will update and it'll mess the whole process up. Oh hey, it's green again, you're lucky.
Wow.
Let's go.
Green,
See,
green.
The game knew it was going to be on Awfully Silly, so it just went ahead and gave you your favorite color.
Wow, that's so nice of them.
Yeah, thank you, E4 Brothers.
Yeah, that's clearly planned.
Yeah, definitely not just really lucky.
Alright, so that's 3.
Yep.
4-ish coming.
Yep. Okay, yeah, that's it.
All right, there we go. Woo!
Finally. So yeah, that actually... Yeah. Your lucky color saved
I
me.
hope
You're
that wasn't
welcome.
Too hard. Anyway,
So yeah,
the audio disc gonna hit
that's the minigame right there. That's the surgery minigame. It's rough. You have to be pretty tight with it. And by doing that, it circumvents a lot of mechanics that you normally have to interact with otherwise to complete the minigame. Because like as the minigame progresses and you're injecting the monster blood, you'd have to change some pipes because like the equipment is degrading as you do the surgery. Otherwise, you fail. And also, there's like a button you can hit to reset the monitor if it breaks, because that's also a thing. We avoid having to interact with those two mechanics entirely, which is pretty nice. We got that audio disc, because we're basically going to input a mating call into this audio player. Summon Nab and Nab. But yeah, it's kind of fitting that I messed up on that minigame as much as I did, because whenever I do my multi-game runs, whether it's quadrilogy or trilogy before Banban 4 came out, whenever I do runs of these like multi-game Banban categories, I'm just really infamous for messing up the surgery minigame. And in all my completed runs, literally all of them, I always mess up the surgery minigame at least once. So fitting that we just like spaghettied it.
At last, he's no longer miserable.
Also, Nab was kind of odd when crawling on the ceiling, because, like, you probably barely saw it, but whenever Nab and Nab climb on the ceiling, their arms just, like, clip through the wall. It's really weird. It's, like, pretty hard to see, too. You have to look really closely at the tips of their legs. I know it's supposed to be horror, but, Zalus. Yeah, exactly, Zalus. That's why it's on Awfully Silly. Don't you know? But yeah, speaking of which, that was actually a good comment right there. Thank you, Zalus. Speaking of which, with this game being as silly as it is... Get that? With this game being as silly as it is, so, Banban 3, and you'll definitely see it with this cutscene coming up for reasons you're about to see, with Banban 3, starting with Banban 3, it was kind of a turning point for the tone of the series. Because, like, with the first two games that I just played, the Euphoric Brothers were trying to make a serious game. It just didn't work out. It just wasn't that good. In some cases, it was poorly made. But Banban 3 is where they pretty much came to the realization that, yeah, our series is kind of a big meme. And they just leaned fully into the comedy horror aspects of it. Which we're going to see to great effect in this cutscene, because Singer Flynn puts us in another hallucination. And, yeah, now we're riding a car in the desert.
Hey, you. You're finally awake.
Yeah, thanks for that Skyrim
Can't
reference.
blame you for taking a nap. Feels like
Yeah, we're riding in a car. Stinger Flynn's manning the wheel. We have Appeal in the front seat.
When are
We have Banban, of course.
Beach.
And we also have this guy sitting next to us. He's another one of the mascots of Banban's kindergarten. I don't actually remember his name, so I just like to call him Mike Wazowski.
And you messed that up somehow.
I am struggling to locate the being who asked.
So yeah, we're just riding this car for a bit. Takes about a couple minutes to do so. But we'll get to hear some tunes in the meantime. Listen to this. There we go. Also, this is not copyrighted music, in case anyone's wondering, so the stream won't get DMCA'd. What this actually is a bit of a collab that the Euphoric Brothers did. They approached a person you might have seen on YouTube called Rocket Music to make this song. It's called Rivals, which I think is really cool that they did that, because like it's like I was saying earlier, where they fully leaned into how big the series really was, and they started collabing with all these big creators. As I said with Banban 4, they actually hired voice actors. So it's a really cool detail they put in. They definitely put a lot of effort. There we go. They put a lot of effort into these later games, and it shows. We also have Banban, we also have Nab just sculling behind the car, because why not?
I appreciate them keeping us DMCA free up in here. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
If your pathetic mouth utters another infuriating...
Also, we get to see the car spin around like crazy here. Let's see what happens. Yeah, so as you saw there, we crashed in the desert, and the car just like spin around at random. It's kind of, you can get like many different patterns there depending on what the physics feel like. Also, we're playing the Stinger Flynn. I mentioned earlier how there's that one section we played as Stinger Flynn that we ended up skipping, but this one we cannot. There was no way to like force quit past it or anything. Doing a quick series of button games right here. We shoot electricity out of Stinger Flynn's tentacles by just pressing right click. So we hit these 4 buttons. And we normally do a second round of this button game, but we can skip it, which I will be doing. I originally intended to show off a thing with this button minigame, which I'll explain in a second. But because of how long the surgery minigame took, I don't think we'll have time for it. So we'll just skip right past it by doing a quick bit of jumping around the geometry there. The second round of the button game that I skipped there would have been the buttons that you saw there moving around in a circle. And there's like, I think 3 or 4 rounds of it. As the rounds move along,
Finally.
the buttons just move on that rail faster and faster to the point where they just move at the speed of sound. It's just ridiculous. So I'm doing a force quit to skip some dialogue. Now we're doing what I think is probably the hardest skip, besides, of course, the surgery game. Because it's a mix of red light, green light, and a memory game. So you saw those orange blocks I just grabbed. This is basically one big puzzle to get a key card in this final room, but I'll be going here early. And there's a pretty precise jump I'll be doing here that will allow me to skip a majority of the puzzle. So I'm kind of blocking this jump right here. Hold up. Oh my god. I'm messing up the easy jump. What is going on? Okay, so that might have just lost me enough time I won't be able to make this, but we'll see. I'm on a much tighter window to get this. Okay, I got the jump, but I might run out of time here. Yeah, I'm definitely running out of time, so let's go ahead and force quit that. Yeah. Yeah, so the reason I quit out there is, like I said, it's a mix of a red light, green light, and a memory game, interestingly enough. Because as you go through these different rooms trying to grab all these orange blocks, occasionally, every minute or so, Jumbo Josh is going to come and peek in the rooms, make sure that everything's okay. And when he does that, you have to make the room exactly as it was before you start messing around with the blocks and everything. And if anything's like misplaced or you're still moving around, he'll jump scare you and you have to do this whole section again. But by doing this jump, we can avoid having to do all of that. And like I said, it's about every minute or so that Jumbo Josh comes out. They're basically on a 1 minute timer to do this entire section of hitting these buttons and hitting these 2 switches on the wall. So obviously if you mess up the skip too much, like I did a second ago, you run out of time and basically are resorting yourself to being jump scared by Jumbo Josh. But got it the second time there.
Nice and clean then. Well done.
Yeah, I messed up the jump a couple of times on the easy one again, but didn't have that happen this time. We still got through. The reason that's so hard, by the way, is normally when you place the orange blocks like I was doing, you're prevented from placing the blocks when you're standing on top of the green blocks that kind of serve as a platform to place the other blocks on. But if you position yourself very precisely on like the tip edge of the block, you can still place the orange block while you're on top of the green block. And it's a pretty tight window to be able to do that, so I had to position my cursor in just the right way. So I just tabbed out to look at my timer again, because again, you need to go very specific directions on the tram. In this case, you need to go up. Because I mentioned a little bit ago in Banban 2 about how this series, specifically this game, has boss fights, and we're about to see that. With a monster that I can only describe as Banban's equivalent of a Hydra. We're doing a pretty epic boss fight with that and a monster in a second. But we have a quick math puzzle. Yes, I know, math in a video game. Who could have thunk it?
What? Come on.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, we're gonna do math here. But I already know the answers beforehand, so I can just input the patterns real quick. On this right side of the wall, it's 4, 1, 3, 4. And over here, it's 1, 2, 5, 3. Okay. That button minigame, it looked pretty simple, and it is once you know the answers. But those buttons that you're pressing on the wall to input the numbers, they can get stuck and not accept your input, and you're forced to do the entire math puzzle over again. Which is a big time loss, because you have to enter the buttons on both walls again. Also, this game really likes doors. We have to go through a billion doors here before we can actually get to the boss. Again, these games really like padding, and this is definitely evidence of that. I'm going to summon the drone there, because I'll need it during the fight. And I'm going to try to go for a trick here. I'm only going to go for it once. I'll explain it after, because I have to kind of focus for this one. Ooh, we might be in the clear here. We'll see. I have to get over, though.
No, bummer.
What sucks about that is that was the easy part that I failed. So what I was trying to do there is, after that boss fight with the Hydra monster, as I described him, you have to go over there and grab those 2 party hats on the other end of the arena. And then you jump back and you do the boss fight as normal. But I just barely missed that jump. It's like I said, the collision is pretty tiny to be able to hop across. So I have to do this boss fight as normal, which is fine. If I got the skip, if I got that jump after grabbing the party hats, I would have been able to, after this boss fight is done, do a force quit. I have to do the boss fight as normal, which is fine. The basic premise of this fight is, as you can see, there's this Hydra-type monster we have to deal with. And we have to take these firecrackers, which spawn at random locations around the arena. And then once the monster does the slam attack with its left hit there, you have to place the firecracker on its tongue. There we go, it'll go ooga booga. And we have to do that 2 more times. And then the boss fight is done. And the boss fight takes a while just because there's so many different areas you have to go to in the arena depending on where the firecracker decides to spawn. And it also takes a while to rear up its next attack. I also noticed that I'm jumping when the monster is about to do one of its attacks, like this right head shooting out a bubble at me. That's just so I can be in the air and give myself some extra wiggle room to dodge these attacks. As you can see, these attacks come like thick and fast, so if you don't get out of the way in time, it's an instant death, both of the attacks are, and you have to do the boss fight over. I like how the chat is just spamming random letters like they're toying with me.
Yeah. Yeah, we were all doing that a little bit earlier. We're in theme.
Alright, the next firecracker's over there, but I'm just gonna make this bubble attack before I go over. You can see, by the way, that the bubble ricochets, so it's very possible that I'll dodge the bubble. And on the back attack, it just ends up getting me anyway when it ricochets off the wall. There you go, so I got the firecracker, bait out the bubble attack. See, it's like I said, you saw how that bubble ricocheted off the wall. It could have hit me just then. Okay, that was my mistake. That was my bad. I just had a giant brain fart and forgot to press jump. And what sucks is I was
all been there.
Yeah, what sucks though is I was on the last phase. That's like it's fine. We'll find a way to fill time.
We got it.
So I guess I had to fill in time while we're doing this boss, since we technically already seen it. Is there anything you want to plug?
Well, sure. Well, good news. I always like to report at the beginning of the week here, where on Mondays, every other Monday here, as a part of the Team Velocity schedule on the GDQ Hotfix. This is just the first show tonight. We have another show that happens right after this. Now that show is called Out of Bounds. That's going to be hosted by Kung Fu Fruit Cup. Kung Fu Fruit Cup. That's a tough name. Tough name for me to say sometimes. But we're sticking right in theme with our pre-Halloween celebration, and we're doing some more horror games on Out of Bounds today, where we're going to be doing some glitch showcases of a few different scary games. I believe we have Choo Choo Charles on the schedule.
I didn't call the drone.
Oh, there you go. As well as Blood Rain and then Northbury Grove series. So we got some more spooky games here for you. So feel free to curl on up with your animal of choice, your person of choice, your nobody of choice maybe, and enjoy some spooky games with us today.
You can keep going because we're gonna be here for a little while.
We're still going. We're still going. No, that is perfectly all right. Things happen. These are speedruns, and in true GDQ fashion, things can go awry as it turns out. But yeah, so far we've had Ju-On the Grudge, which was an incredible showcase there. A Wii game that I cannot say I've played. Not sure I want to. Weirdly enough, I'm a bit of a scary game baby. I get scared very easily, so I tend to avoid spooky games for the most part. So can't say that will be one that I'm picking up necessarily. But then we have our excellent Garten of Banban quadrilogy going on here. We're game 3 out of 4 so far. And then we're finishing up with an actual familiar title, but on an unfamiliar platform. I'll leave it at that for now. One of my to tease it a little bit. One of my favorite things to do is have games or game series that people tend to be really popular or people really like, but feature intros of those games in that series that might not be as popular or as good necessarily. So just a little bit of a teaser there for you as what we're rounding out the episode with.
Okay. So now that I've already died twice, I'm kind of tense anytime an attack is about to go off.
Yeah, I can't blame you.
Yeah, because like I said, these attacks are instant kills, so I have to be really careful here.
Yeah, I do not blame you. Definitely get the focus mode on. Yeah, you got the focus goggles going.
Yeah. So that's 2 out of 3, I think. So we have one more. We'll see where Oh no, that's the last one. Never mind. Hooray! I lost count.
Lost count in a good way. That's good.
Yeah. That jump I did earlier to get across there, I could have technically done it there after defeating the boss, but not taking any chances.
I don't blame you. Yeah, you just wanted to get out of there. Yep.
Yeah. So we finally defeated the boss. He goes ooga booga, and he falls into the abyss. And you might be wondering, why did we even get those party hats in the first place? We might see this poster in the distance. It's a cart of sorts, so we need to put on the 2 party hats on basically as a activator. And I'm moving along the cart because we need to use an audio distraction from it to lure that OP the chick at the end of the hall. And get used to these lines. You'll hear them a lot as we move towards the bird. It goes through one of 3 pre-recorded phrases. And my favorite is behavior you get banned. Kept doing so many of them. Is it just gonna do the same one? What? Okay, finally did a different one. Jeez. Starting to think the cart was broken or something. Yeah, we play that audio lure. Grab the OP of the chick. Because by doing that, and we lure this variant of OP that we haven't seen before in the games up to this point, which is this light blue variant. So we'll hop on its back. And we'll put the Opila chick on Opila's back. And we'll press this button, which will make Singer Flynn come up. And there's going to be a bit of dialogue here with him, but we'll skip that with a force quit. Okay. As soon as he says okay, we'll force quit. And we'll go into what I think is the weirdest section out of this entire series. And that's saying something considering what we'll see in Banban 4. But yeah, this is the weirdest section of the entire series. Because we're basically going to do a Kentucky Derby, but with birds. Although it's not actually a race, it's a minigame, but don't worry about it. So how this mini game or race works is that you see these doors that we come across. They're color-coded for each of the two birds. If the door is pink, like this one, Opila right there has to get to the door first. But if the door is light blue, I have to get to the door first on this turquoise bird. And as we go along this minigame, the doors get closer and closer together. So you have to really closely manage how close you are relative to Opila and the acceleration and deceleration of your bird. And it gets harder and harder because, like I said, the doors get closer and closer. So you have to manage it really closely. Because if one of the birds gets to one of the doors and it's the wrong color, say I go to a door that Opila is supposed to hit, you fail the race, and you're forced to wait until the evil version of Banban over there that's chasing us right now catches you. So not only do you have to go through the whole song and dance of playing through the death screen, you're forced to wait until Banban catches you, which is really slow. And depending on where you die, you can lose up to 3 minutes just in this one section. So you have to really closely manage your distance to Opila to make sure that the right bird gets to the right door. And it's really long too, because like I said, you lose several minutes if you mess this up. Because I think there's like something like 15 or 16 doors in this one chase. It's pretty lengthy. I also have really epic music playing for seemingly no reason for how silly this is. Like I said earlier, this game just abandons any and all seriousness and just leans really hard into comedy horror. Alright, so that's the last door, finally. We're done with the Kentucky Derby chase. And we got a good look at the evil version of Banban. He has this like little scowl on his face going on.
But the smell of your pancreas will always draw me to you.
As for why these characters keep mentioning pancreases, I don't know. It might have something to do with the experimentation aspect that I talked about earlier. We'll get to see the fight of the century here. We're going to watch from a safe distance on our bird. Because Jumbo Josh and Banban are going to get in a fight. The sound effects here are just really weird. Speaking of weird sound folly. Because just listen to the sound that plays when Jumbo Josh grabs Stinger Flynn here. Yep. It's like someone cut the cheese up in this.
Also, I like picking the first game, farting in this one.
Yeah, I also like Opila right here. He just jumps off. He's like kamikazed it. He wants to go after his friend. Speaking of friend, we're gonna see a familiar friend as soon as we hit this button right here. Opila check followed us in. You'll be seeing plenty of him as we go into Banban 4, because that's the end of Banban 3.
Woo!
Yeah, we're on the final game. And I kind of mentioned earlier, right, about how these games just get progressively more and more broken. Because Banban 1, pretty standard, and it's a pretty short game too, so there's not too much you can really do to break it. The Banban 2, we start having platforming skips and just like little sequence breaks that developers accidentally left in. And then Banban 3, we had those really hard skips like the one in the block puzzle. But Banban 4 is where it takes it up a notch. And I'm really hoping I'll mess this up because I'm really far behind already, and some of these skips are soft lock heavy, so we'll see how it goes. Anyway, we're going to start Banban 4 with some really loud chase music. And I mean it with how loud it is, because I can barely hear myself talk right now, even though I'm like speaking at the top of my voice. We're getting chased right now by that Hydra monster that we fought in Banban 4. And similarly to the chase at the end of Banban 2, it's the same pattern every time. It's a set path through here. So we'll just run the path to get away from the Hydra. Not cool. So we get to the end here. We have a quick puzzle, which introduces a new mechanic for Banban 4 in these pressure plates. We don't really see it that much in the speedrun because of how much we end up skipping. But we at least got a little puzzle with that mechanic to start off the game. We'll put Opila, the Opila check on that pressure plate, and then we'll activate this one. we're gonna shoot the drone towards this button, and similarly to Banban 2, when I skip that classroom minigame, I'm gonna try to pause at a specific time here. There we go. I did a couple of quick pauses. That'll make it so I'm able to pause here when I'm normally not able to. I'll do a couple of quick pauses again, so I can pause in an upcoming part of this little cutscene where I get knocked out. Because if you remember that Stinger Flynn character that I briefly mentioned in Banban 3, he's going to interrogate us here, for reasons I'll explain once I'm done with this little trick. And I have to pause here a bunch as soon as it fades to black. I have to pretty precisely time it, otherwise I soft lock the game, so let's see what happens. I think I got it. So by spamming the pause button a whole lot during that cutscene and doing a few pauses at the start of this one, as I'm about to gain control, it'll make it so I can get out of the chair here a little early.
Without any questions.
Real quick here.
Understood? Now your first task is very simple. I will ask you yes or no questions.
Got it, cool.
And you'll answer them using the...
So by pausing a bunch there, it basically makes it so we're able to gain control in that little cutscene. We're normally not able to. What's supposed to happen there normally is you sit there in that chair while Toadster, this little frog who's also a cop, asks you, hey, have you seen this monster before? As kind of like a personality test to see if you're a threat or not. Because this area we're about to go into, the kingdom, as he calls it, it's kind of a hideout for all of these mascot monsters that haven't fully turned evil like Banban did earlier in order to protect themselves. So he'll be leading us in there, and he interrogates us, and we're supposed to sit in the chair until he's done, which takes quite a while. It takes about a couple minutes. But by pausing a bunch, we again get to gain control when we normally don't have it. We can just get right out of the chair as soon as the interrogation starts. I like to call that interrogation skip for apt reasons. And going up to Abansele here, which is a mascot that we haven't seen in the games up until this point. Same with Toadster. We actually get to see him in the flesh here, with a quick bit of cutscenes that we'll be doing involving them. And I mentioned earlier about how they hired professional voice actors for these games, the Ford brothers. And that's the case for Banban 4. Because the person that voices Queen Bouncelia right there is Erin Nicole Lundquist. You might have heard her in some other video games that you've played. They also hired professional voice actors for Toadster right here. And also for a mascot we'll be seeing later called Bittergiggle. I don't remember the names for the voice actors of Toadster and Bittergiggle, but they're pretty good.
They don't talk much.
I just got here. What is this, Alpha Crusher? This is a fever dream that you're seeing live.
Yes, congrats. join us in the chaos.
What they're doing down here.
Yeah, it's definitely chaos. I'll put it that way.
I think a worry.
See, I have some cutscenes to sit through here. I mentioned earlier again about how these games have a lot of padding. With Banban 4 in particular, there's a lot of these cutscenes we'd have to watch involving Bouncelia here and Toadster in some cases. That basically serves as a checkpoint to tell you, oh, here's what you have to do next. Because the point of Banban 3, the plot, or Banban 4, I mean, the plot of Banban 4, or at least basic flow of it, is the elevator that we used to get down here, or at least the elevator that Toaster used to bring us down here, it's broken, so we have to get 3 gears to fix it, 3 parts to fix it, in order to get back up to the surface. And getting each of those gears usually involves doing some sort of challenge or minigame.
I'm sure you can understand.
And normally, if we're doing a no major glitches type of speedrun, that would take around 40 to 50 minutes. But there's roughly 10 minutes or so left in the estimate. So you're probably wondering, hey, how is that possible? Well, after we do this conversation with Bouncelia, we'd have to go to a tram to get to the first area and get the first gear. But in some out-of-bounds space next to where the tram is, there is a checkpoint that was left in the game. I don't know if it was like a debug thing that the Ford brothers accidentally left in. But there's a checkpoint that's just sitting there out of bounds. And if we hit that cutscene somehow, or that checkpoint somehow, we got put in a state where we're at the very end of the game after getting all the gears. But that checkpoint is very, very deep out of bounds. So we have to do some complex bit of platforming here involving the Opila chick friends from Banban 3. And it's pretty precise because you have to like precisely space out grabbing the chick and then jumping because you want to use the chick as a platform over and over. So we'll get to see that right here. Okay. Oh wow, that was actually pretty fast. Alright, so I'm on some visible geometry right here, which I need to be very careful when walking on because it's very thin. What? Why isn't that letting me move? Oh, frick.
Bummer.
Okay, I actually, Ooh, okay. Alright, so we're gonna do a little thing called loading a backup save.
I am familiar with this process.
Yeah, so I need to search real fast through my desktop because the save data is stored in a very specific space on the hard drive. It's the good old app data folder, so I need to find that real quick. Don't worry about this, by the way. I'm not doxing myself by doing this. You won't really see much. All right, so I believe it's app data local, Clay 4. There we go. This is the folder where the save games are. I believe I have the checkpoints, so I'll go ahead and grab those too. Yeah, this is what I was talking about with soft locking and having to reload a save.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I just reloaded the game right there, I would have been put at the... I think this is it. Okay, cool. I mentioned earlier about how some of the tricks are soft lock heavy. At that point there, when I failed the out of bounds, if I went ahead and reloaded, I would have been put at the start of the interrogation, or at least at the end of it, where I was walking up to talking with Vancelia with Toadster, and that would waste a lot of time. Also, I have to mess with the cropping a little bit because with the settings on this save, it puts my game on full screen for some reason. All right, so now I've put that save in. It'll load me right here next to the tram. Also, apparently settings on this file with motion blur turned on, but that's fine. So yeah, by having that save there now, we can just reload there instead of having to do some shenanigans with the app data folder to get back to where we were, so I can try this again. I got the hover, which is the hard part, right here. I was actually really fast that time. I got the hover, which was the hard part, but fell out of bounds on accident. Oh my gosh, I'm just losing my grip on the bird here. Like I said, it's a very specific rhythm, because otherwise, because if you get off rhythm, you drop the bird and fall back down to the floor. Okay, got it that time. Okay, so I'm gonna be extra careful. I'm going along the walls here. Okay, cool. So I have to very carefully edge my way there to put along these invisible walls because I want to go over in this direction. I mentioned how that there's this checkpoint that's deep out of bounds, and I have to do some precise platforming there after boosting up to actually get over here. The checkpoint is just over here where this brick wall is, so I'm going to jump over there. Right around here should be good. So I'll drop down and just fall at a seemingly random point in out-of-bounds space. But by doing that, it'll put me in a state where I'm at the end of the game, at the this final confrontation with Vancelia, after having gotten all the gears. There we go. You can tell that it's at the end of the game because earlier when the bird, or the chick, and Toadster was there, they're not there anymore. So we just basically wrong warp to the end of the game. Yes, you heard that right. Banban is wrong warps. And it sent shockwaves in the community when this was found. Because I mentioned earlier that the no major glitches run, which used to be any % at the time, for Banban 4, was around 40 minutes. The wolf record is 9 minutes now. So that's literally a half-hour time save in a game that is less than an hour. It is massive. And that's by far and away the biggest skip in this entire series, and that's how this quadrilogy run was able to happen.
Wow, that is impressive. Very impressive.
Yeah. By doing that, though, we miss a whole lot of context, so I'll go into a bit of lore here. I mentioned earlier about how we're going to get all these different gears to fix the elevator. In the process of doing that, we come across this mascot named the Bitter Giggle, where like one half of his face is sad and one half of his face is happy. Also, we get to see a zombie bird here, don't worry about it. Hold on, hold the thought. There he is. So we come across this mascot, Bitter Giggle, right in front of us. His whole thing is, you know, he's a jester. He likes to tell jokes. And he wants to tell a joke to Bouncelia. The thing with Bouncelia, in the lore for this game anyway, is if she laughs, whether it's at a joke or something else, what are called the naughty ones, which are basically reject versions of the mascots we've encountered so far, they would explode out her pouch in a ray of light that goes to the ceiling. Yes, that's actually what happens. And you know, all heck would break loose, basically. We'll see that play out in a second. And the Jester, and when we get the final gear, he gets the best of us and is able to get to Bouncelia. So we'll see what happens when she laughs at a joke. It's your classic dad joke, by the way. What Bitter Giggle ends up saying.
Your Majesty.
Take notes for the next time you tell a dad joke to your family.
What did the train conductor say to the kangaroo? Hop on!
Master class in comedy right there.
If you say so.
Uh-huh. It was Trigger, pretty much. Yep, there it is. Okay, cool. So as soon as Toaster says his second line of dialogue there, I do the very last force quit of the run and of the quadrilogy. Because you normally have to run down all those stairs that lead up to Bouncelia's throne, but by force quitting, it just teleports us down here. And there's one last strat that I'll be doing that we can do to eke out a little bit of time. Because in this last section where we're going to the elevator to end the game, Toadster runs a little bit faster, just a little bit faster than we do, even at full speed. So we can get in front of him and have Toadster push us. That gives us a little bit of time save at the end of the game here. And time for this game and the quadrilogy is coming up soon. It'll be when Toadster, the dialogue box with Toadster's line appears here.
Everything
Time.
worked so hard to do.
Well done.
That was roller coaster, I guess is the best way to phrase it.
Yeah, the game did its darndest to throw you off, but you did it. You conquered all four of them.
Queen's scepter.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that can stop this madness.
Well done.
Mm-hmm. Some good stuff right there.
For sure. All right. Any? I know you had some shout outs at the during the Juon run, but do you have any other shout outs, plugs, anything you'd like to?
Yeah. So I want to.
Everybody.
Yeah. So I have a few. First of all, I mentioned them at the start and throughout the run, but I want to shout out Euphoric Brothers for making these games. I know these games kind of get a little bit of flack online, especially among the speedrunning community, for being bad, but they have their own little charm to it, and I like it for that. So thank you, Euphoric Brothers, for making these games to this day. Because you might be able to see by this little teaser at the end, there's a 5th and 6th game, the 5th game being a prequel. They're in development right now, and they may very well come out for second wave submissions in soon, so you might see me submit it for that. So be excited to play and speedrun those when those come out. Besides the Euphoric Brothers, I want to shout out a few Banban runners, namely Noki, Danger1451, who I believe is the current record holder at the moment, and Suiko. Those are the main people. I also want to shout out actually Astral Spiff, which might seem out of the blue because he doesn't run these games, but I actually started running these games and playing them because of my GDQ run last year, or I guess technically this year, when I ran Poppy Playtime, because we were while we were in the green room before that run, we got to talking about Banban, and that's how I got into this series in the first place.
Wow. That's awesome.
So yeah, thank you, Astral Spiff, for indirectly getting me to speedrun these games. And as for why I decided to do the multi-game runs, it just kind of happened. I just like how silly these games are and wanted to milk them for what they're worth.
And we got to benefit from that. So thank you for doing that for us. We appreciate it. Wow, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 games down in the Garten of Banban series. Thank you so much, Nerd Squared, for being on for both runs that we've had so far. For everyone out there, we have one more run left here for you on Awfully Silly tonight. So we are going to take one last break. So feel free to get up, stretch, make sure there are no monsters with monster blood coming after you, weird kindergarten stuff, and we'll see you on the other side here in just a few short moments. All right, and welcome back to Awfully Silly, everyone. We are rolling right along with some silly, spooky games here. We kicked it off with Ju on the Grudge, a Wii game, believe it or not, run by Ju-Horse. Did an excellent job, and then we surprised you with 4 straight runs of the Garten of Banban quadrilogy. Nerd Square taking us through all 4 games. We had an excellent time. Want to remind everyone before we jump into our third and final entry into tonight's Silly Spooky Games that if you happen to be watching on YouTube, be sure to press the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel. And you can also come on over to twitch.tv/gamesdonequick to watch our shows live. We would love to have you. All right. We have our final game here, which is Castlevania. Now, you might be wondering, Castlevania, that's a game that people like. That's a game that people have an affinity for. So why is it on Awfully Silly? That doesn't seem to fit the theme. Well, this is Castlevania, all right, but it is Castlevania for the Amiga, which is a little bit different than the Castlevania you might know, and it's going to be run by Neitzel. Neitzel, go ahead, the floor is yours.
Hello everyone, so yeah, the Amiga, if you don't know what the Amiga is, it's a computer released in the 80s that was really popular, at least in Europe. I don't think in the US it was as well known, but yeah, it was a really, really cool machine that I grew up with. And it turns out it had its own version of Castlevania. A lot of popular games from the 80s were ported to the Amiga, and usually they were pretty bad. As you can see already, I mean, the castle itself is already pretty underwhelming, in my opinion. So,
A little bit,
I mean,
a little bit underwhelming for sure, yeah.
So, yeah, this was made by Novotrade, which you might know as Appaloosa. They renamed the studio afterwards, so they did Echo the Dolphin games. So, I guess they bounced pretty well after this game, but then they did some more awful stuff with the Contra game on the PlayStation, but that's a different story, so let's get started, I would say. So something that's nice about this version is that it has a save system, and that's kind of the one of the reasons I can actually show off this game, because, well, this game is pretty awful to control, and the RNG might force us to actually reload the game several times. So, alright, let's get started right away. The timer will start once I start moving, so that will be after this short cutscene. Let's go. So if you've seen Castlevania before, so time starts now. Here we go. So yeah, if you've seen Castlevania before, this is really a straight port of the original NES game. There's also an MSX version of this game, but it's completely different. It was released almost at the same time as the NES version. This version really adapts the NES one, so the layout overall is the same. The enemy design is similar, but I mean, visually they're a little bit different, as you can see with these ghouls. And right away that's decided just to drop me off, which is something that can happen. What's really annoying also about this version is that the Amiga only had one action button. So the way you're supposed to use your sub-weapons, like this clock that I just picked up, is by holding the attack button for a few seconds. So it means that you have a lot of delay whenever you want to use a sub-weapon. Even when you want to use the whip, you have like a 1 second delay, which makes reacting to things almost impossible. That's why I did a lot of damage boosting early on in the level. Alright, we got rid of the bat right away. Most of the threat of the NES version don't work on this version. Alright, so we're going to make a save just in case, because I'm going to collect the cross right here, and we need to keep the cross until the end of the game. And the main issue is that because there's so much delay in the inputs, there will be from time to time I will like move forward or do a jump, and I won't be able to correct myself before seeing the item spawning in front of me. So I could pick up another sub-weapon, and that could get me into a terrible position. Alright, first skip in the game. This one is similar to what you get in the NES version. Yeah, I messed that up. It's normal. It happens. This trick is a lot harder than on the NES version. Fortunately, we have this save system, and what it does is that it brings us back actually to the screen where we were. So doing this is a bit faster than... and I messed up again. This jump is the worst.
Yeah, that seems tough.
Yeah, like I said, this game has a lot of delay in the input, and also it, I mean, from time to time it drops your inputs, so you'll press up and it won't work, and that's it. Here we go, we got it. Phew.
There it is.
Alright, I'm going to make a save here just in case, because we have another room that is pretty terrible. This one doesn't look like it, but yeah, there's only one specific frame when I can move, because the collision of these things are so big. Alright, we're throwing across to get rid of this guy, because once he's on top of you, you can't move away. And we're going to reach the second boss, so you played Castlevania, I've seen it before, it's the Medusa. Something that I do with the small ones is that usually I will get rid of one in front of me, look back so that the next Medusa spawn behind me, and then I'll just run away. So to show you how bad this is, so the boss won't activate here, but it will activate once I go to the left, and here's what happens. So yeah, you can't do anything to dodge that. It's just, yeah, you just have to deal with it. Again, the game is dropping some of my inputs. Trying to hit the middle side with just the whip is a nightmare. Also, if you try to whip too quickly, the game will just use a sub-weapon for you, because yeah, frame rate on this thing is, I mean, it barely got any frame rate, so... We're going to jump over these three men, and we're going to look to the right to get damage boosted to the left, and use the invincibility to get through that Richard, because as you might know, in the Castlevania community, we call every skeleton Richard. I have no idea where that comes from, but here we are.
I've heard that before too, and I never understood, but I'm glad you don't know either. We can be ignorant about it together.
Yeah, and I actually started playing Castlevania, speedrunning Castlevania on the NES version, so... And I still don't know where that comes from. But... Right, come on. So, yeah, like right there, I'm trying to press the attack button and the game won't just do anything. It's really awful. when you go for PB attempts, it's really, I mean, like throwing a lot of dice and just hoping for the best. Something that might happen as well is that I'll do an attack and like the enemy won't just die at all. Okay, I messed up a little bit there. It's alright. We want to damage boost through this guy. On a PB attempt, I would do a lot more damage boost, but yeah, right now I'm just trying to play it a little bit safe. Alright, so reaching the mummies, we're just going to throw these crosses and please work, game. Just work for 5 minutes.
There we go.
Okay. And now we are reaching the screen why so my PB is 11 minutes, but my estimate is 25, and this is the reason why. Because I'm going to try to do this screen the way you would do it casually, just to show you how bad this is. So you would move on top of these guys, and yeah, you have mermen just spawning all over you. And they are kind of a nightmare to deal with, and this is what usually happens. If you know this screen in the NES version, you know that you have a lot of moving platforms afterwards, and the merman in this version can spawn on top of you, which in the NES version they make sure that it spawns either in front or really behind you. In this version it just doesn't care. So, but we have something to get through this. Alright, already messed up killing this guy. We're going to jump over the trigger that spawned the merman, and then we're going to do part of the screen without them spawning, which makes everything a lot easier.
Yeah, wow, that's a night and day difference. Wow.
Yeah, but coming up right at the end, we have to deal with a little bit of RNG with this final merman right here. Okay, it was really nice to us. Most of the time it will spawn on top of us and knock us back, and we would just die. But yeah, first attempt going through is really, really rare, so that's pretty cool. Fleaman Sally, this is a section in the NES version that is a bit painful to get through, but in this version you just hold right and that's it. So far things are going pretty well, so...
That's what we like to hear.
And yeah, this is probably my favorite screen in the game because, I mean, why do they have... I mean, are these supposed to be horses? And why is the castle written everywhere? I just love this. Alright, so Frankenstein is pretty easy. We're just going to spam him with crosses. In the NES version, on a lot of the bosses, we will try to do like critical attacks so that if on the same frame you manage to hit the enemies, well, you'll deal additional damage to them, and that's pretty powerful. This version doesn't really have that, so we just have to well, throw loads of crosses on enemies. Already took a little bit of damage, that's not great, but we'll deal with it. This Richard is the worst one in the whole level. Please throw it right. Here we go. So yeah, because if he throws his bone to the left, it's pretty hard to... Well, you get hit while climbing the stairs, and then you'll get knocked down, and you have to do all of that again. It takes forever to deal with. Alright, something that you're going to see in a couple of screens is that is the way the spawn system works in this game for enemies. So here oh yeah, that's a shame, but we'll go ahead anyway. Usually I hope for good RNG just to get across, but yeah, the way the spawn system works in this version of Castlevania is similar to the way it works in Mega Man. So this blue guy that I just beaten, well, he just respawned because that staircase took me to the left, to the right, sorry, and so the enemy will just respawn the moment I get his spawn position out of the screen. Not sure if I'm clear enough right there. I'm getting a bit worried with my health right now. Okay, getting through these guys. Again, the collision on those ones are just really, really bad. From time to time, they'll just refuse to get down at all. Right. All right, we're through. So, in the NES version, we would just use the holy water, which is really, really powerful in that version of the game. In this one, it's the worst weapon that you can get. So
that's weird.
Yeah, it's really weird. In most games, I mean, the holy water is pretty good, but yeah, in this version, it's really, really bad. So for death, if you go to this corner and you just duck, you're mostly safe. From time to time, what can happen is that the game just forces you to stand up for no good reason, just because, yeah, the game loses your input from time to time. Alright, this bridge is pretty bad, but we had some fantastic RNG there, so we have loads of heart. We might be able to get across right away, because problem with these bats is that they take 3 hits, and if they touch you, you'll get knocked back, and then another one's just spawn right away. So you can end up with like 3 bats on top of you, and there's nothing you can do to deal with it. Oops, I'm not going to pick that up.
There we go.
Even though recently I wanted to try to do this run without using sub-weapons, but yeah, that will be for another day. So right here, I'm going to drop on this stairs from above, press left, and I'm going to get teleported to the final screen of the game. So we skip like 3 screens that way. Just to show you, our stairs are really bad in this game. Right there, if I press left, I just fall to my death. It's really stupid. It can happen on any stairs. Most of the stairs, if you press left or right, you won't have any problem. It happens from time to time, but for some reason on that final stair, it's just broken every time. So you have to make sure that you only press up to get through this section. And we are reaching Dracula. No, I don't want this. I'm just going to restart.
No.
Yeah, because the hitbox on Dracula is really, really small. And the hitbox of the whip is also really small. So usually I can only hit him once whenever I do that. So when I attack with the whip, I can only hit it once. Right, so let's go. Okay. The game didn't want to. Okay, so RNG is a bit mean in terms of sub-weapon, but not too bad. At least Dracula is staying on the side. So the way Dracula spawns is completely random, and if he spawns on top of you, from time to time he will deal damage on frame 1, and sometimes it will be like when he's fully visible. It's completely random. So, but we got some great RNG, and this is the cookie monster, as we call him. And the game is so shocked by his appearance that the music just stops playing.
That is some kind of sprite, I'll tell you that.
I mean, compared to the original Cookie Monster, I think they did an awesome job. And time will be when I collect this up. Here we go. So that's time. Wow. So Yeah, we got some. Really, the screen in level 4 is the worst, and the fact that I managed to do it on first try, well, that makes us save a lot of time because each attempt is about a minute, and usually I do it on like 5 attempts. So yeah, this was really good in terms of RNG.
Yeah, well done. Yeah, that was nice and quick.
And something really nice is this high screen score. So it's called the All of Blame. It's not a modification of the game. It's just the way that the devs decided to call their high score screen. So I like to put people from the Kuso community there because I mean it's kind of their fault that I run these silly games. So
there are a lot of familiar names on that list. I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 7 of those people have run on this show before, I think.
No, it makes sense. I mean,
yeah, I think that adds up. That adds up. Yep.
So yeah, here you go. That's Castlevania for the Amiga. There are also a DOS and Commodore 64 version. In my opinion, they're a little bit better, even though the DOS version you can play the game with, with the purple and cyan colors. So that's a pretty fun way to look at Castlevania. But I think gameplay-wise, it's a lot better. This version is really awful, and if you get the chance to try it out, well, just do it. It's fantastic. At least it's fantastic in the way it's so bad.
That's what this show is all about. Fantastic in the way that it's so bad. That's a really good way of putting it.
Yeah, and I think it's a category of bad games that I really like. Like when you look at Mega Man DOS, like looking at really bad ports of great games, it kind of shows you how you can go from a bad game to a great game and vice versa with a few changes. And I find that super interesting.
Yes, me too. All right. Anything else before we wrap up for tonight's episode?
No, just thank you for having me. I hope you enjoyed the run, and see you some other time. I'll be at the GDQ in the Awful Block running a couple of games, so tune in for that.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I will be looking forward to that. I will be up running Sneak King there anyway, so I will see you there for sure.
Awesome.
Yes, I can't wait.
I'll be running some Zedet and also some Tintin in Tibet, which is kind of pretty famous Kuso game in the French community. So
lovely. I cannot wait for both of those. All right, everyone. Well, that wraps us up for our Silly Spooky Games episode of Awfully Silly. I hope you are sufficiently either laughing or scared or both. I don't know. Well, that's up to you. But I hope you enjoyed. But as I mentioned earlier, that is not the end of the Hotfix programming tonight. And it is not, in fact, the end of the spooky programming tonight either. We have Out of Bounds coming up next with Kung Fu Fruit Cup, and we're going to be featuring some more spooky games, spooky adjacent games, as well as we go through a bunch of glitch showcases of some horror and horror adjacent games. So stick around. We're going to have a little break in between the shows, but you're going to want to stick around and check those out. And in the meantime, we'll see you in a couple weeks for another episode of Awfully Silly. I hope you had fun. I know I did. And we'll see you then. Bye-bye, everyone.